Wake up, gamers, because you're in the Big Think Dimension, the first gaming podcast to self-isolate and sound good. Featuring KZ Excellent.
I think video game good.
Dan and Bob Video Game.
You see that mountain? You can self-isolate on that mountain, Bob.
Oh, thank God.
And Mr. Feel.
Donkey Kong shoots you with his shotgun ASMR.
Here on Gigabytes.
So, Bob, I finally ate the tocino spam.
Okay. How'd that go?
So, here's the more important thing than how it tastes.
Okay.
I can finally move past this point in my life of not knowing what tocino or tocino spam tastes like and thinking about the Tostitos song from Totino's song from Eric. From Tim and Eric.
Right. I don't...
Because
Can
Steven
you move
Gunner has
past that?
broken my mind. Yeah, I can move past that because I'm not going to be sitting here thinking about tocino spam.
Are you sure?
Yes. Let me tell you how it tastes. Kind of sweet.
Huh.
Little spices and stuff, but just kind of sweet. That's it.
Weird.
It's fine. We had it in a garlic rice and a egg dish. It was very tasty. There. Boom. Spam segment done in record time because no one else ate spam, right, guys?
I ate some spam.
I ate some spam.
I ate some spam, but not in any special way, so I won't go.
I cooked some spam, I chopped it up and put it in some pinto beans.
That works whenever my...
All right. How was that?
The quarantine's weird. That was all right.
I guess that's kind of like when you cut up hot dogs and put them in beans.
I think I would like that more.
Yeah, it seems like it had more flavor.
I mean, I seasoned it the way any white person does.
What is that?
Salt?
Salt and pepper.
Immaculate.
I mean, those are 2 core spices.
Yep. It was all right.
I don't know that that's it.
The spam had a nice spice to it because, as always, I cook it on high, so it's basically half burned every time.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
that's my part of the spam segment done.
Nice. We got 2 done really fast. In the future, use spices other than salt and pepper.
I considered I had some garlic, but I don't know if I should use that on pinto beans or not.
Sure. I don't know. Sure, it'd be tasty at bare minimum. Bob, we're now moving on to you.
Sure. The thing I made with spam was actually kind of boring. It was just rice, eggs, and spam.
And it wasn't even tocino spam.
No, it was just regular spam.
You're going to have to try that tocino spam before we're out.
Yes.
Just so you know.
I need to try that.
Yeah.
But the other thing I did was hash. I made like a hash and egg omelet.
Oh.
So that was all right.
I saw that on Twitter.
I did see that.
Wasn't it like one of those rollover omelets like
Yes.
Japan, you fucking weeb?
I was like, what? I didn't think of it till after I drew the lines of ketchup. I was like, that should have been a heart. What was I thinking? I need to complete this look.
You know what? I need you to do it again.
I'm not doing it again.
No, I need you to do it again because I have a request for the ketchup.
What's the request?
It's got to be a cool S.
Oh my God. I don't think I can manage that.
I need you to attempt to put a cool S in anything you make in the next week.
Jesus Christ.
That's it for me.
Real quick, Bob.
What's up?
You remember that video we were watching? You follow a couple like different like cute recipe video channels on Twitter.
Right.
Or accounts on Twitter. What was the one that was an omelet where it was kind of healthy and then they just covered it in a shitload of mayonnaise and then sweet sauce?
Oh, that was actually okonomiyaki.
Okay, it was an okonomiyaki.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to remember because I only remembered like a couple parts of the video and then the ending where it was just like, fuck you, it's terrible for you now.
I mean, it already wasn't great. It was like...
It was teetering on the edge. Like,
Right.
I could eat it and be like, this was okay. Sure, it has cheese in it, so it's high in saturated fat. But it's still protein and decent, meats and things, right?
I mean, it was cuts of like really high fat pork meat. So.
Yes, it was.
I don't
but
know.
I think when you hit the end, it's like, you know what that high saturated fat needs? Sugar.
Yeah.
I think that's what
Fats are better for you than carbs.
It's true. It's true.
Also, isn't okonomiyaki like 80% cabbage?
This one wasn't.
This one wasn't 80%, but
Kabage?
it did have kabage in it.
Yeah, they had a little bit of cabbage, but it was a really slim one. It was weird. It wasn't like any okonomiyaki I'd seen before.
Mm-hmm.
They even just rolled it in like a regular omelet at the end. It was strange.
Yeah, that's why it was so weird. That's why I remembered it as being an omelet, because I remember at that moment I was like, it's kind of like an omelet. What the fuck? But yeah, no, that recipe looked really good. I actually want to eat that. But anyway,
I need to set the record straight.
Yeah, sure.
About some things here with the spam segment.
Uh-huh.
I've shown some resistance, and that has unfortunately made people think that I have not had spam 3 times a week for the past 8 weeks, which is inaccurate. I have. But every time it's uninteresting, maybe I put it on the side, maybe it's in a sandwich, but I've had it. It's just never been adventurous enough as what I did today, which was chop spam up and put it in a can of beans.
I love this. I love this idea that the quarantine, the quarantine happens, and we're just like, we're eating spam now. We're poor. Isn't this fun? And Casey's just like,
Isn't this fun? Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, that thing I buy every week, not even related to the quarantine.
I regularly ate spam before.
It was never. It was, but I've had plenty of people go, oh, you're finally getting into spam. I'm like, okay, I need to correct this now.
that's the funniest shit in the
Correct
world.
the record.
I just don't like the concept that I have to edit spam segments once a week, every week until I'm dead.
I would like to know, been dirt poor most of my life, never really ate spam. I don't think my parents cooked spam for me once. When I
More
moved.
of a Steakums person.
No, those aren't even cheap, Casey.
Yeah, they're very ritzy.
They probably were at one point. Like, that's
Yeah.
the shitty thing about capitalism.
Yeah, they were.
Is that-
they were cheap
that,
at one point, just like fucking Goodwill. But then the branding takes over and people's brains are ruined. So Steakums eventually go up and triple or quadruple in price, and people are still like, "Oh, it's
Like
great."
Velveeta.
Yes.
Hold on.
That's crazy. Like,
Are you telling me Goodwill's an expensive store now?
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, Goodwill used to have reasonable prices for things. It basically hasn't in like 2 decades.
I haven't been to a Goodwill, Dan, since like 2002.
Yeah, no, they
That was
got.
the last time it had a reasonable price.
Yeah, it's really sad, but in the last 10 years, they've been basically drastically overpriced, and it's fucked up
How is
because
a fucking thrift store? What are they doing?
Making bank, the guy who runs
Oh, no.
and owns Goodwill, is a millionaire, so he's doing all right.
I'm going to dox him right now. I'm going to dox the owner
Hey.
of Goodwill.
This is what we do to entertain ourselves on this podcast. But yeah, no, never ate spam. I've been dirt ass poor to the point of like, okay, this meal today is rice and soy sauce. That's it. I can't afford eggs. I can't afford shit, but I can afford rice and soy sauce.
Egg.
But yeah, I never spam. Is spam even cheap? Like in the grand scheme of things?
Isn't it like $2
Because like
to get a can?
It depends on where you buy it. I buy it from like a dollar store where it's $2.50 a can, and it's like 12 ounces, I think.
I mean, I guess
So it's
for
not-
me,
it's-
my thing was always tuna, right? Like tuna's pretty cheap.
Yeah, you can't really get cheaper than tuna, but yeah, spam isn't really that expensive.
And you're not doing a whole can in one sitting.
Yeah, a can
Hey.
of spam makes at least like 3.
Don't you tell me what to
What?
do.
Dan's like,
Dan,
if I
I'm
wanna-
begging
if
you,
I-
talk about video games.
I just
No,
slap
he still
the
has to talk
underside
about-
of
he
the
still has to
spam
talk
can,
about spam.
and it lodges a brick of spam straight into my mouth.
and then you're done. You don't have to eat for the next 12 hours.
Dan, I'm begging you. We're nearing 10 minutes. I'm getting scared.
okay, first I'm going to read this thing from the current CEO of Goodwill's Wikipedia
Thank you.
page.
Yes, do it.
In January 2019, Preston began serving as the president and CEO of Goodwill's Industry International. Preston said his civic experience aligns with Goodwill's mission to help individuals achieve greater independence through employment, adding that my goal is to expand the critical impact of that mission. So he basically said people have to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, pay three times what you used to for our thrift store goods.
Yeah.
Also, he worked for the Mitt Romney campaign.
It's true.
Oh, this is...
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's
So something that's special now is in between big things. I created a bingo card for our audience to use as they listen to these. I'm just gonna put the bingo card in the folder I send you of this, so you'll remember to add it to the description. Because otherwise, you won't remember.
okay.
Clearly, you will.
Um,
I'm looking to you, and by looking to you, I'm looking at you, a picture of you holding a copy of Brink. I trust this man.
Brink, that was a game. I still don't know what, real quick, I'm going to bring this up here.
Oh, shit.
How is Syndicate any different from Brink? I remember we did quick plays of both of those games, and they both just came off as multiplayer games that were just like, what if shooter multiplayers were the main focus and there's no single player?
Syndicate, you can technically play alone.
Really?
Yeah, or maybe thinking Shadowrun?
No, Bob, did you just fucking accuse me of mixing up Shadowrun with anything?
Okay, I'm sorry.
You should be.
Brink?
Next you're going to be like, are you thinking of Shadowgate, Dan? No!
But yeah,
I didn't even know Syndicate was like a multiplayer thing. I just thought it was a bad single-player shooter.
the main difference, because Syndicate's whole thing is like a single a campaign you go shoot with multiple people, whereas the other one was a competitive shooter. And the other difference is Brink got a whole lot more hype.
It really sucks that they never really built games last gen for LAN, because I would like to know how those games function. Oh well. What games did you play, Bob?
I played all the Chex Quest games. Anybody else play Chex Quest? Hear Chex Quest and what Chex Quest is?
No, I know what Chex Quest is, and I was gonna play the free Chex Quest HD, but I did not have time.
I burnt all the way through the new HD one. It's on Steam for free. You get the main character for free with it. You can get extra characters by buying Chex Mix. I haven't had a chance to get out and buy Chex Mix yet. I assume that they will each have different voice lines because your main character will say one-liners constantly throughout the game, which is kind of fun. It's a really, it's made in Unreal 4, and they're trying to remake stages from the old game, which is basically a Doom mod.
It's not basically, it is a Doom mod.
Yes. So the funny thing is, it has its own music and certain sound effects, but things like the opening doors are literally from Doom. It's just the original Doom sound effect. It plays way higher volume than anything else in the game. It's very strange. And this is in the newest HD port. I'm not talking like the old ones. I'm talking they just put those old sounds into this brand new game they released last week. Other than that, it's kind of not a great shooter. Hit detection doesn't work too great, but it's just a fun throwback. It took me an hour to play all the way through it, and you get a bunch of different weapons because you're fighting these you're playing as Chex Man. He's called Fred,
which is weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird. You go around shooting these snot-looking aliens. Apparently, the whole idea is that they, I think they eat nutrients, and all the people are cereal, which is of course very nutritious.
What? All the people are cereal?
Yeah, each they're showing the boardroom meeting, and there's General Mills, and he's a general in the army, and he's a corn puff.
Oh my god! What?
And then the rest of the team you unlock are the Chex Mix Squadron, who are all the different Chex Mix pieces.
I'm gonna main Rye Chip.
No, that's bullshit. I want Rye Chip. This is fucking horse crap. I'm gonna end up with Breadstick again.
Breadstick.
Why is there a genre of we took Doom for our thing?
Doom was kind of a watershed moment in gaming.
Yeah.
Even the Christians took Doom for their own thing.
I know, but also just maybe at some point you need to give a game a chance. Taco Bell Tasty Temple Challenge.
No, there's no way that's as good as Chex Quest.
God,
Look at it.
I'm looking at these designs for the Chex Mix Squadron. Rye Chip is fucking Doctor Strange.
I didn't see that one.
Pretzel is like a cyborg guy.
Yeah, Pretzel's really good.
This is a lot.
And Breadstick sucks.
See, this is why I said I don't want to get stuck with Breadstick. Look at that dumb asshole.
I also went back and I was like, okay, I need to play the old ones to kind of catch myself up because I played it when it first launched. I got it with my AOL disc because that's how it went out back in the day. I don't remember if it was just the disc showed up for that or about the serial. It's one of the two. That game, I played it first on a DOS emulator on a random website because I was like, what's the easiest way to do this? And I was immediately reminded why I had such a hard time with first-person shooters back when I was growing up. DOS will not work with your mouse. So you're literally using the D-pad, like the directional buttons on your keyboard. And so you turn.
One might call them the arrow keys if they weren't a console Luddite.
And you hold Alt to do strafing, and it feels terrible.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
This control scheme makes perfect sense, using the jump button, using the spacebar to jump, using control to shoot, and using Alt to strafe as you also use the arrow keys to do everything. As long as you have the N key rollover feature that really old keyboards had, where you couldn't hold too many keys on one line. There have been times when I've gone back to play DOS games where literally it's impossible to play because they expect you to be able to hit like 5 keys on the same row. That's the thing.
Wow. But then after that, I looked into it. There are 3 Chex Quest games before this HD one. The third one came out in 2006.
Yep.
It's a package that has 1, 2, and 3 all together, released by the original creators. That's the way to play it. It works on modern systems. You can use a mouse.
And it's on Steam?
It's not on Steam. It's just for download. I found it through the wiki page on Doom. But yeah, I think you can probably just search it up. Just look for Chex Quest 3. You'll find it.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's apparently been officially endorsed by Chex Mix. So they even mention it in their post on their website for new Chex Quest HD. Oh, I thought that was pretty neat.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that. Yeah.
That is the way to play those older games. It doesn't have nearly as much input lag as trying to do the DOS emulator through a random website.
No way.
Yeah, I know. Unheard of. But yeah, they're an interesting point in history. It's really funny to see like Chex branded stuff.
Yeah.
In a first-person shooter.
Yeah. It was really different back then.
Right.
I mean, you couldn't see Christians nowadays or Czechs nowadays being like, here's our version of Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's the one regret I have. I wish that HD had like a ridiculous amount of budget. Like if they got Infinity Ward or to make it.
People in the Gigaboots Discord were making jokes about they should have used the Doom Eternal engine.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking hilarious.
I mean, I tweeted out the picture of Chex Quest 3, like the title screen, where it's just he looks like Doom Guy with his butt cheeks out. It's
God,
really
I forgot you tweeted that. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Look, you need to show the whole cheek. Otherwise, it's like, who is this guy?
And the HD one, you're inside the Chex man's helmet, so most of the screen is his helmet, and you're looking through a square, and all the HUD elements are on the inside of his helmet.
It's like 70%, 80% of your screen.
It's really good.
Is the game, and the rest of it is just this fucking obnoxious helmet. It's so bad.
It's made out of a Chex square. It's raw.
And there's actually an opening and ending. I assume each character's gonna have their own ending, because Fred has like an elaborate thing about raising his kids.
This is nuts. I can't believe we both came in with knives for the opening segment.
What are you talking about? I like Chex Quest.
I get that you like Chex Quest. To anyone who has no frame of reference for this, like, I'm enjoying you talking about this. I feel like you're stabbing them, and then I'm going to stab them with something completely different approach. But no.
Don't you want to get the grande meal, Dan?
Let me see.
Ugh. Oh, this looks terrible, Casey.
Yeah,
and
no,
it's sauced.
It is really bad, Bob.
Yeah.
It is really bad. I've seen it before. I've never played it. Have you played this, KZ?
No, but look at that Cobra.
It's pretty sick.
I'm reminded of the ID4 games. That's for Independence Day, the movie.
Oh my god. Bob, no one calls it ID4 except for Fox.
They ruined my brain. Okay.
No, seriously. This game looks so terrible.
Yeah, it does. This tasty temple Taco Bell game. Yeah.
What a game.
This is just what my life is like. I turn to the left, there's a chalupa, there's a giant scorpion.
I mean, this isn't too far off from my own, except for, you know, the hot sauce would be fire sauce. Like, come on. Hot, really?
Yeah, the other things I played were things that we've all played, like Crucible. But before we get to that, I wanted to... Something I didn't know about Trials of Mana
Oh, yeah, sure.
was that there's like a full class system, and each character has multiple different classes to choose from. I thought that was...
I thought you were going to talk about the floor sound effects.
No, I'm not going to bring that up. Yeah, you walk on ice and it sounds like you're on a basketball court or something. It's really something. It's a trip.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really neat. I didn't know I'd have that level of customization for my characters. I was up way too late trying to figure out which class to upgrade them to. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I played some stuff that fucking nobody else did.
Okay.
So I'll bust through that real quick. So I have a phone. It's the new iPhone SE, which is a budget frame and a budget display, but it has cutting edge CPU and GPU in it, like best in the smartphone game. So I have the most powerful smartphone on the market, except for it has 2 gigs of RAM instead of 3. Higher end iPhones have 3 gigs of RAM. Anyways, so I was like, hey, I also bought capacity for once. I'm not starved for space. Let's download some games and actually play them. Especially since iOS now supports hooking directly to Xbox One and PS4 controllers. So, Sega has re-released a number of games on iOS, like Streets of Rage, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Christian Whitehead worked on Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. I really don't know if it's the purist snob in me or if it is just that bad, but fucking playing those games using that controller on my phone, it just felt like it had so much fucking latency, and I do not know if that's just extra bad emulation or I got spoiled by our analog Mega SG. That was bad, so I just deleted those immediately because there were mild frame stutters, and it seemed like the video and audio were out of sync mildly, and it also had a ton of latency. Also, those games, for those who don't know, are ad powered, so they're free to play, but if you pause the game, you have to watch an ad. While playing Sonic the Hedgehog, if you pause, it's like, oh, you gotta watch this ad. Gotta watch the ad. And I'm like, this is bad. This is really bad. This is so fucking bad. I'm deleting this.
Raid Shadow Legends.
That actually was one of them.
Shut the fuck up.
One of the other games that rolled an ad for was like Game of Thrones Roulette. It had a stock image of like one of the actresses on Game of Thrones, I guess, and she's standing next to a slot machine.
Oh, does it say like Siri on it or something like that?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen that ad.
Yeah, no, it was funny as hell. Funny as hell.
This is the worst.
So I deleted those. They're gone. Get out of here. Trash.
Good.
And then I was like, hey, I have this controller. Have they updated Mario Kart Tour to support control? No. It will never support a controller.
It's Nintendo.
That's fucking absurd. Why would you want to use a controller on your phone? You need to come over to the Switch and use your controller. Is this game on the Switch?
Exactly.
Of course it isn't.
Well,
So
you buy Mario Kart 8 on the Switch.
yeah, of course. I would be a stooge to want to play anything else. Play any other lesser version of Mario Kart. So then I went about this a different way. I had the thought of, I should just Google what the top iOS games that support the MFI controller is. For those who don't know, MFI is like the term that basically meant a controller designed specifically for iOS. But any game that supported that years ago supports the DualShock 4 and Xbox One now. So, look that up. There was this game. I recognized the publisher, but I couldn't remember what they did. Apparently, the people who did Fruit Ninja and other shit like that just made a retro throwback platformer action game called Dan the Man. It's surprisingly decent. Weirdly enough, it's free. You it's nowhere near as obnoxious as Sonic with the ads. It's all right. 2D graphics, simple brawler. It didn't keep my attention for long, so I jumped out of there. But then I realized GameSack did a video recently on a racing game called Asphalt, like Asphalt 9 Legends. And I was like, oh yeah, that's on phones. That supports controllers. I'll get that. And then at the top of the page, when I searched on the App Store specifically for Asphalt 9, do you guys know what popped up?
What?
Forza Street. Forza made a mobile racing game, intentionally paid money for it to come up when people search for Asphalt. So I hope everyone looks forward to next week when I do the comparison between Forza Street and Asphalt 9. Asphalt 9, by the way, actually a pretty good racing game. If you have an iPhone and you want to check that out, I do recommend that. It's quite the looker. Like, for people who don't realize, Asphalt 9 is literally like the 9th fucking game in the series, and they've just been getting prettier and prettier as they go, doing a better job of fine-tuning the monetization and ad shit or energy systems or whatever, so that way it's not so bad that you want to never fucking play it. Asphalt 9's pretty fun. For shits and gigs, because this is a small phone, it's just a fucking phone. I don't want to play a normal game on it. I hooked this up to that HDMI dongle to put it on the TV. For people who don't realize, the iPhones generally have like USB 2.0 bandwidth, so this dongle is designed around that. Weirdly enough, an iPhone outputs an MPEG stream that something inside of the HDMI dongle decodes. And since this was an intense racing game with really good graphics, that image looked like Stadia on my fucking TV.
Oh, no.
It was so blurry and fucking MPEG artifacts everywhere. I was like, man, this game looks so pretty. There's no way to blow up this image without it looking like shit. What a shame.
Maybe they'll port it to something else.
I know there's a Switch version of at least Asphalt 8. But this phone's a lot more powerful than the Switch. So I imagine there will be compromises made. My hope is that at some point, Apple pulls their head out of their ass and actually makes a USB 3 bandwidth fucking HDMI dongle. Because their phones, for a bit now at very least, just the most recent time period, has supported the full bandwidth, but they haven't made a fucking product for it as far as I know. Anyway, and I tweeted an image from this. Also, I picked up Crazy Taxi Tycoon, which is an idle game for the Crazy Taxi franchise where you manage taxi drivers. I picked that game up for the first time in 3 years.
Different kind of idle game in my brain.
Yes, different from, we're talking phone games. Idle with the LE, not with the, yeah.
Oh, well.
Yes. I picked it up for the first time in 3 years, so it was like, congratulations, you made $7 quintillion. Here you go. Have fun. And I'm like, ooh. Oh, cool. This is how I win. The Crazy Taxi Tycoon game's pretty fun. Problem, I think the ad system stopped working correctly, so anytime you want to do that to get a buff in the game's mechanics or any number of other systems, like the monetization doesn't work at all anymore. You can't buy anything. So the game's kind of a little broken, doesn't work right. Still kind of fun game. I don't know. Oh, and there were like 6 games I tried to install because I had the icon on my phone from before, from porting over everything from my older phones, but they were delisted. And sadly, the app for Yik Yak no longer works. Pour one out for Yik Yak, everyone. Everyone's favorite social network to surreptitiously buy weed. Wonder why it went away. Anyway, that's Dan's mobile segment of the week. Next week, we'll get Dylan in. I expect.
No, we won't.
There we go.
I was taking a drink.
I was like, man, I figured KZ would have said no by now. Oh, he was drinking. That's okay. I was drinking too.
Yep.
So,
can we talk about a good game?
No. I played Brink over the last.
You did
No,
not.
you didn't.
Have
Fuck you.
Did you?
Yeah, sure. Ask me anything.
No, he
about
didn't.
it.
There's no way that game still works.
I just kept doing the training mission over and over.
All right, move this shit along.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Hey, Phil, what you been playing?
I played DMC the DMC because I was paid money to do so.
Oh, kill me.
That being DMC Devil May Cry, featuring Dante from the Devil May Don't series.
Oh, cool.
I don't want to. I feel like 7 years later, I don't want to spend too much time on this. First of all, please go watch the VOD for that stream, because really, if you don't have firsthand experience with DMC the DMC, you really need it to truly grasp that game and the bizarre cultural phenomenon around it, where otherwise rational people got terminal brain disease and for some reason don't want to just call it what it is, an enormous pile of garbage.
Even when you try to put it into words, like I've heard people talk about it all the time, that undersells it.
Yes,
when you see it played, you truly start to understand the scope of what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I thought the combat was bad before, but seeing you just use one attack the whole game and it never stopping.
And get double and triple S every mission by spamming drive, because the style is determined by damage.
I was very exhausted, so I left toward the end of the game.
You missed the worst part.
As I disconnect, I still have the stream up because I'm messing with some stuff, getting ready to leave. There are 2 enemies in the room. You throw like some angel weapons that spin and stun lock them in place, and you keep throwing it at them. You did this uninterrupted for a minute straight, and I almost wanted to tear my eyes out.
Yes, I played
as
the
the
original
sound
release.
of them spinning bored into my brain.
I played the original version where you have to deal with the colored enemies, and there are parts where it's just like, here are 2 big, fast blue enemies that you have to fight with the weakest weapon. And I go, no, I don't. I'm going to just use a round trip with the chakrams, which stun lock them, and just keep hitting the button and just wait for them to slowly die as they are locked in place, unable to do anything. It's real bad. First, like, let's go. It looks bad. It sounds bad. The plot hates women. To me, and is a misogynist. Every single thing about it is bad. It has less enemies and bosses than DMC4, a game that was critically unfinished.
People got mad at you on Twitter when you said that and tried to defend it.
DMC the DMC has 9 enemies. Even DMC4 has 15.
With those 9 enemies, are you counting the recolors?
No, but I'm not doing that for DMC4 either. I'm not counting the leg blade puppet and the arm blade puppet as different enemies. DMC has 6 bosses, 2 of which there are 2 sets of 2 that function identically. One is just a bunch of combat rooms, and sometimes you hit a switch.
Yeah, I don't know how that game has defenders from a mechanics side. It's insane. They can't see.
It doesn't feel good. It doesn't play well. It's ugly. The plot is deeply irredeemable and like was really what blew my mind open when it's like game journalists just all that comes out of their mouth is shit. They don't believe in a single thing. Because you had people when this came out, this game where you trade women like objects. It fetishizes the abuse of women. There's a sniper rifle abortion. There's a scene where the heroine is shot in the arm and then graphically stomped on by police.
That's how you know it's real.
But the people were like, no, that's fine. We don't even have to mention it in its reviews. Killer is Dead Killer is Dead has a bad minigame where you look at girls in lingerie. 4.
Yeah, obviously that's really bad to women.
Not literally trading them like poker chips.
No.
Not
that's
what's our
drama.
plan? Not what's our plan to save this girl? Are we going to go in there and bust in and be real strong? No, we're going to kidnap the villain's wife, who is powerless because she's a woman. Who, by the way, she's literally powerless and only has anything regarding agency because she's carrying the villain's spawn. And also, you just look at her and like, oh, Tamim, you're fucked up.
Well, it's like a person who had a lot of plastic surgery. Was that not okay?
It's just the whole fucking game is just the most pathetic. I'm 14 and rebelling against authority, but I don't really know what that means. So I'm going to be mad at everything in a really shallow way. Like, soda is bad. Fox News is bad, which yes, but I didn't think you could be too unsubtle talking about Fox News. You literally could have wrote faux news with a swastika instead of the X, and it would have been more subtle than the Raptor News Network with a giant eagle and the ugliest man alive saying he's doing God's work.
Yeah, Bob Burgerly.
Who then gives you an angel weapon because DMC is a very good game. But I really can't put it into words. Go watch that VOD. If only to hear us get to the part where I say, you get a power up from a blue rose because that's what Nero's gun is called, and KZ just screams, "Boo!" at the top of his lungs.
Yeah, and then I try to look at the chat for peace, and they're like, "Oh, we get it. She's the Red Queen."
That's what I played. Also,
Cool.
I played the DLC, which I, for some reason, had remembered being better than the main game, but is actually exponentially worse.
Yeah, Bob and I were really confused every time you expressed that opinion. We were just like,
I
what
have
the
no
fuck is he
idea
on?
why I thought that. Maybe I was just like, okay, I'm playing as sort of Virgil. That's cooler.
Oh, Hollow Dante. That reminds me of Bleach. Those were the good old days.
But
Oh,
I don't think a
Bleach.
DLC where I realize 5 minutes in, oh, if I use this move, I can just throw every enemy off a platform and not have to fight any of them. And that becomes my strategy for the entire DLC. Entire meaning 70 minutes long, because DLC, main game plus DLC, plus me not playing especially optimized because I'm having a conversation at the time, plus a 20-minute technical issue at the start, 7 hours.
Yeah.
I liked how the DLC was like 2 levels repeated.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was bad.
Yes.
It
And-
constructed out of levels from the regular game.
Yeah, it's like 3 levels. A lot of it's reused assets, and every room's a combat room for a really long period of time. If he wasn't chucking shit off the ledges, it would have been even worse.
It's like, oh, you can't do nothing if I just throw you off every single ledge. Okay.
Oh no!
And then at the end, even that wasn't fast enough. So I'm like, I'll buy a bunch of Devil Trigger restore items and just suck everything into the blender of summoned swords. But yeah, that's what I played. Go watch that VOD. It'll be up on YouTube soon by the time you hear this.
So fucking bad.
Thank you, everyone who supported me, so I had to play it.
We actually played through Halo ODST. We didn't talk about that.
That's true.
Halo ODST.
ODST.
Right on cue.
What a delightful small game that has been bloated into a $60 game for some reason. That was a mistake, and to this day, I still will not forgive that game for Microsoft's decision to do that, and will not forgive Microsoft for their decision to do that. It would have been a great downloadable pack for Halo 3. It is not a $60 game. So much of that game is just... Every time... The game's comprised of 2 things. Flashbacks and you running across the city. And when I say run across the city, I literally mean run to the opposite end of the city to stare at an object and see a flashback. It's... The actual flashback missions are fine. But the city thing is the same thing every fucking time. And since that's the beginning of the game and in between every single level, it feels kind of awful.
Yeah, it feels like it could have it would really benefit from if it was just a linear path through the city in the present day timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have unique areas to go through and find something that reminds you of things because you're an empath, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're an empath, obviously. Also, the end of the game, the final level, I believe, takes place in the city that you've been running across this entire time. I guess it's the second to last.
Yeah, it was like the last level you go to a new area.
You do the highway.
The highway.
So it's like the second or third to last level. But it's just a lot of retreading content. The plot tries its best to not tell you what's going on, so that way it's paper thin narrative can stretch out over this game that's a little bit longer than it should be, plot wise. But it's really cool and it's really neat, and I like it trying new things. I think that would have been a much better direction for 343 to go with games going forward, so they could nail what Halo was before they tried to continue the story of Master Chief.
Right, if we saw more stories about random soldiers, that might have given them a chance to figure out anything that didn't need to be huge.
And instead, we got Halo 4.
Yeah.
Halo ODST. It's better than any 343 game.
Easily, yeah.
That's about all I have to say about it.
Was there... I'm trying to remember. There was some song that it started playing that was just egregious, and we were both howling.
It was that one was it Def Leppard? No, it was Led Zeppelin.
It was Led
a
Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin knockoff you and I were fucking losing it, and Di knew the name of the song, and it was so fuckingly blatant. It was so fucking blatant. We were just losing it. I can't remember which fucking Zeppelin song it was, but it was like, okay, thank you, Di Rocketo for calling that out in chat. I should have known Di would have known that song based on his haircut. And that's what I said when he called it out. I was like, yeah, I've seen pictures of Di. I should have known that he would have known. He seems like he listens to Led Zeppelin. What I'm trying to say is he's cultured. It's true.
Led Zeppelin is for everyone, but also really smart people.
Correct. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about ODST. You, Bob?
Not really.
Then we're going to throw it to KZ. KZ, what you been playing?
I finished playing Trails of Cold Steel this past week. Been chipping away at that for a few months. It's all right. It's another one of the Trails RPGs. It's one of the entry points because it's the start of a new set of games. You join a military academy, so it's just you teaming up with other anime characters to, I guess, eventually be in the military.
It's the light novel arc because Falcom always, apes whatever is popular in anime at the time, and this was when every light novel's about this black-haired guy with a katana at combat school, and this is their version of that.
Yes, because this is also one where you're a self-insert character almost, because you get to bond with the various characters. And at the end of the game, they let me choose a character to hang out with for an extra amount of time, based on how much time I've spent and bonded with them. Overall, it's all right. All the Trails games basically play the same in almost every aspect possible.
KZ, this is gonna seem out of the blue, but is there a baby warp portal?
No, there is not. There is no portal that has babies in it.
Okay.
Wait, what? What is this a reference to?
Fire Emblem Fates.
God damn it.
Oh, you mean the baby dimension. You mean the baby dimension where they throw in their children to age 18 years in 2 weeks.
No, this is a relatively normal JRPG where they just threw a Neptunia character in it for no reason and made it be voiced by Ashley Birch.
Yes, they did that because Neptunia had like the Falcom character, so that this was like their side of the trade. We're like, we'll put this character that's obviously just a Neptunia character and is voiced by Ashley Birch doing an impersonation of whoever voices Neptune.
I think these games can be really, really good. They usually start strong. usually ends stronger, where like the last couple of chapters of these games are really engaging because they start popping off callbacks throughout the game and like, you know, pull off their twists, do some cool stuff. But every Trails game has this problem where the middle 65% of it does the exact same fucking thing over and over again, to the point where you're like, I'm playing a game made by an algorithm. And depending on what direction the story is currently going, this is either acceptable or a 3. And sometimes it's a 3. But I like the end chunk of it a lot, so I guess it was a success, because you only remember the endings of games, so it was an overall positive experience.
I mean, it ends real strong. You think
yes,
it's not going to when you go through the most irrelevant final dungeon in video game history.
Yes, it was incredibly irrelevant. It was.
And then you're like, is this really the ending? And then it goes, no, we have a second ending.
I would say all of these games, like their ending sequence is around an 8 to a 9. So I'm like, all right, this is solid. I don't remember the first chunk of the game, but you know, that's fine. I passed that point. I also went on to New Game Plus, because these games are psychotic and made by insane, I'm gonna say it, idiots who decided, here's what we're gonna do, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do quests as you play the game. You have a notebook filled with quests that you complete, and they give you AP.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's like extra objectives tied to them, so you'll get like bonuses, or there's a choice in them. And if you pick the right one, you get extra stuff. And you'll get ranked on each chapter. You have a universal amount of points you're pouring into. You get better ranks, you get items.
Okay.
The best rank in these games,
all right,
is tied to hidden quests that are nowhere on the map marked, that you just have to talk to random NPCs, sometimes twice, to unlock the quest.
Yep, like Yakuza. Or
so
Yakuza
I went on
6.
New Game Plus with my character that was at an end game level, used all the DLC items, and flossed for 13 hours to rebeat the game with a guide open to get the best possible rank, so I could carry over to the next game with the best stuff. The encounter design is also a bit psychotic, because you'll run into a boss fight that's like, okay, the battle system is based on like not grid movement, but it's kind of like that, where it's not squares, but you can move around a large circle.
You have like a radius of how far you can move. It's kind of like
you have a radius, and even attacks can like hit in a certain range. Sometimes you'll start a fight, the enemy will move on the second turn, like the second move, and their attack is, I punch you, but I'm really big, so I hit your entire party. All of them have now been stunned for 2 turns.
Yeah,
so you now just need to eat those attacks. And I looked up and I'm like, is there any way to deal with this? They're like, you should have known and put on an accessory for it. I'm like, oh, so they made
it's one of those.
And that's the entirety of a lot of the fights, and that is, well, hopefully you had something equipped and can perceive whatever the fuck they expected you to do on some of these fights.
Or you can just use Reen and Gaius and repeatedly spam their moves that delay the enemy's turn until they die without getting to take a turn.
Yeah, but you know, if you're able to already get that set up immediately, either way, it's I'd say these battle systems are like the most aggressive use of status effects I've seen in any RPG ever, and it doesn't feel good.
Nope,
just kind of
status effects in those games are bad. I don't know why they have 14 versions of you're incapacitated. I feel like sleep is enough.
Yeah, they have a lot of those. It kind of feels like a Souls game where they're like, "We gotcha, we win now," and I'm like, "Okay."
But then
I had no way to prepare or know this.
But then you figure out that Fee, the silver-haired assassin girl, you can get her evasion over 100% and then put the items on her that make all enemies always attack her. And then you go, no, motherfucker, I have you!
What is this? This guy a 1?
A little bit.
Anyway,
yeah, my ninja has over infinite dodge ability and will counterattack infinitely. This is how I win.
Okay. I did have that happen a little bit, because then you dodge it and you counter, and as you do that, you build up your limit break thing in this, and then you just pop that, and then you ruin their lives.
Please enjoy when you get to Cold Steel 3, when they I am convinced that they're just treating it like your protagonist fucked everybody. That game is written like the protagonist fucked everybody.
This isn't good. Reen's kind of a cuck.
No, it's fine. He's voiced by Sean Shiplock. It's great. He'll fuck everybody but his sister, who is the person who wants to fuck him the most.
Oh yeah, these games has it has a fucking sister fucker situation, so I'm not about that.
No, it's great because she's not even an option.
Yeah, I know, but her existence is bad. It's like she exists in the bad writing dimension. It's not great.
Well, it's based on a light novel and Code Geass.
Mm-hmm. There are moments where there's like really exceptional like character moments, writing, setup, some stuff that is very specific to these games that they're making. But then suddenly you go, I've read this line or this scene or this situation from every bad anime, and they're doing nothing different here. And they're not trying in the slightest. And I'm like, what happened? What happened? Like, what'd you do?
Just wait until
you could have cut this because every single one of your RPGs is 30 hours longer than it should be. So I don't understand.
Look, Casey, please be excited for Yu-Gi-Oh! Hairman and Cold Steel 2, who is also a Bleach character.
Anyway, that's it for me. That's the only other thing I played was that wonderful other game we played.
It was such a game.
I'm going to do a quick rundown.
Crucible.
Well, actually, you know what? No, because we have one good bit planned with Crucible. Mr. Feel, you have not played Crucible, correct?
Nope.
For those who don't know, Crucible is the new game by Amazon Games using the Lumberyard engine. It is now on Steam and it's free. Mr. Feel, based on the Lumberyard engine, they
sold it from Crytek. Don't worry about it.
They bought it. They bought the rights, and then they did their own fork, and they just called the Cry engine Lumberyard. Anyways, Feel, you've seen a picture. What do you think Crucible is?
I think Crucible is a team-based, hero-based shooter that might be horde mode-ish and have gear drops like Destiny. Also, the closest I can glean is that its aesthetic is something like if you combined Overwatch with Destiny but had Ninja Theory do it.
What you've described is better than what it is.
Yes.
Here's what's going to happen. You guys are going to talk about your experience, and just like with a wonderful 101, you then throw it to me. So I can tell you how I dealt with this.
Let me just explain what the fucking game is, because it fucking sucks. So there's a tutorial. Don't worry about that. All you need to know is it steps you through a couple of the smaller mechanics of the game, and then it just goes, oh no, someone has hacked the training room and is now playing controversial stuff that may have been war crimes that we're committing. And then your character you're playing as throughout the tutorial goes, guess someone's trying to air their dirty laundry. And then the tutorial fucking ends, and then it never has a plot ever again. So that was a really fucking hilarious thing for them to do. The game is a fucked up, absolutely directionless MOBA shooter, wherein on this giant map, it spawns in a hive, and it tells you there's a set amount of time till the hive properly pops in, and there's a monster at the hive. Your goal is to kill the monster at the hive and pull out the hive heart 3 times. The first team to 3 wins. It is 4v4, except this game is so broken, it twice in a row gave me and Bob a match where it was 3v5. We were the 3. The shooting doesn't feel good. There are 10 characters. Most of them are hideous. I don't like any of their skills. Their skills are insanely they think their skill system offers you a lot of interesting and different ways to play, but since it all feels like such dog shit, it feels like most of it isn't viable. They have a character who's like a hat trick character, where the whole bit is they have a throwing knife, they have a shotgun, and then they have a mid-range rifle sort of thing. When you expend the ammo from any one of these things, like you throw the knife or you shoot all of the bullets in one magazine, you have to switch your gun to reload. If that's not the definition of overly complicated for the sake of appearing deep sort of fucking mechanics in a shooter, I don't know what is. Yeah, and there's a battle pass.
The character I played, to sprint, you have to press the top face button.
Oh, you were playing on a controller?
Yes.
I didn't even try.
Yeah, I didn't try either. This game's so rough, I figured it didn't have any controller support.
Right.
It does have it, except when you try to respawn, they have no button for that. So you have to go back to the mouse to select the spot on the map you'd like to respawn on.
Yep.
Daisy, the first time I played it, the map did not have spawn points. I couldn't click on anything.
Okay, I'm going to start talking about what happened to me. Okay, I loaded up this game because I saw you guys playing. I'm like, you know what? I don't know what the fuck this game is, because I forgot that we talked about it on Big Think Dimension like 2 weeks ago. And I loaded up, and I can already tell that it's got to be a good PC game, because it takes a minute and a half after hitting play for anything to happen at all. And then I see a little like a 720p window appear, and then it tries to crash 3 times. And I go, this has got to be good. This is wonderful. It then full screens, stays on a black screen for another 30 seconds. I'm now in a tutorial, I guess. Then it crashes. I load it again, does the same thing. I'm in a match. And I played the match to completion. We won. I closed the game, and I will delete it after this podcast.
But KZ, we were going to play it with you. It's such a fun game.
No.
You're right. We got to group up.
God.
That is the most upset I've ever heard Bob. No.
Dude, let me be fucking clear how bad this is. Bleeding Edge was apparently and obviously a better game.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bleeding Edge, you can hit a guy and know you actually hit them. I have no idea in this game. You seem to just flail your weapons and hope.
Yeah, it just feels like shit. Also, this game is insanely taxing.
Yes.
I think it brought my 1080 Ti down to 100 frames per second in 1080p. That is unreasonable.
It seems like it just fluctuates hardcore, because mine will go from 100 frames to 40 frames at random.
Yeah.
Like, there doesn't need to be anything special happening.
And you're running a 1060... What are you running?
It's a 1060 something. I can't remember what, though.
Okay. Super?
Who knows?
Anyway. Yeah, it's a piece of shit.
It feels so bad. It's so bad.
I really thought we were past this.
Me too.
Of someone spending like $30 million making a MOBA that's third-person shooter and really bad. We had Gigantic. We had Paragon. This is worse than either of those.
It's true. I had more fun with Paragon.
Yeah.
Is Amazon Game Studios also making an MMO?
Yes.
Yes.
They're doing both at once, both trends that killed a billion studios. They're doing both of them at once.
Yeah, well, it can't kill Amazon. They have too much money. It can definitely kill the studios that Amazon is hiring and building, but it can't kill Amazon itself, so they have nothing to fear.
Yeah,
They just want they want the Omni money game. They're going to figure it out one of these times.
I need to tell Mr. Feel about the character I played.
Sure, yeah.
She uses flamethrowers and has a t-shirt that says, Bad Ash. And she'll say that catchphrase a lot.
He's dead. You killed him.
Good. Very charming. What a well-made game.
Why you gotta lie?
We got pain. If you guys are done, I remembered I played one other thing that we need to mention.
This game is so bad, Dan.
It really is.
I did this match. My understanding of how this game works, because the tutorial, again, as I told you, crashed. So I jumped into a game not knowing what the game even was still.
KZ, don't worry.
The
tutorial did not prepare you.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you what the fucking game mode is.
We need to talk about the other game mode before we move on.
We have a whole nother game mode to talk about. But
what? Other game modes?
Before you assault me with that, I landed to this round. It's a MOBA, and I'm like, okay, I understand this. You kill the minion dudes, which are giant, weird alien things, and you're like leveling up, And in other games, I recall getting money and going into a shop and buying things.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have a path, like if you're playing League, for example, and then that's going to make you better. In this, it was just, you're level 3. You will now deal more damage with your gun when it's scoped. It will now do more damage on a reload.
You missed is you get to select which attribute to get it leveled up before you start the match.
Yeah, there are 2 or 3 junctures in your skill tree where you get to choose which ones you want.
Is it before the match starts?
It's on the main menu, but also right before the match starts, you can hit spacebar to do that.
Okay. Well, as I told you, I loaded up the game and then it hitched and was a black screen for a minute and a half. And by the time it was out of it, the match began. So I went from launching it to in a match.
The game's so bad that if a matchmaking goes wrong, it just reboots the game.
I aimed down sight shooting a dude, and I was pelting him with bullets, but the game didn't care. He just started teleporting around as if it was an incredibly bad connection and killing me with an axe.
Yeah, that's how it feels playing it's like any encounter feels like that.
So the other game mode is the most insane mode so far. One quick note about the last mode before we move on. You know how MOBAs have like a lane? They have 3 lanes and there's an obvious direction you go in. This map is a gigantic fucking square and there are several points on it and there are several towers and you're supposed to capture these towers to slowly get experience points to help you level up faster than your opponents. So that way when the hive finally spawns, you can supposedly easily decimate your opponents and then take the hive heart. The towers,
you know why my team won?
Huh?
The opposite team was always too far away from the hive by the time it started.
Yeah. The towers don't matter. In every game I played, that didn't really change who won.
It's a MOBA made by people who don't know how those games are supposed to run. And I barely played them where I'm like, you're supposed to push to the other side. Here it's fucking be a dipshit for 5 minutes and then something will pop up on the map. Go do it.
Yeah, it's like dropping your kids off at the mall.
Yes. Like a normal one, it's a tug of war. It's like you're taking out like those towers and you're pushing further into the enemy territory. Here it's like, no, everyone just dropped in here. A hive will pop up on the top right. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like we were in control of basically all the towers, and they were still leveling faster than us.
Because, of course, they were jungling. They were fighting random alien enemies. There are also power-ups that randomly drop. There's a lot of things in this which don't matter because it's a directionless pile of shit that feels like crap to control. So now,
a lot of fun things happened on this game.
With that out of the way, we're able to talk about the second mode. So the first mode's a MOBA. The second mode is trying to be Battle Royale for some reason. It's forced teams of 2 in a 16-player match where it's permadeath. And the concept is you spawn in
16-player Battle Royale. They're so doomed.
Even Bethesda managed, what was it, 52, 51?
One, I don't think that thing's out yet, but still, the fact that they can't get a fifth of the normal amount for a bat.
Yeah.
52. It's 52. They can't they have not even 1/3.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's dire.
They don't have 20% of the amount for a traditional battle royale.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts. That mode sucks.
Yeah, because that mode's entirely based on your skills at playing it as a shooter, and it's like, that doesn't matter. Everything's warping around, but bullets don't seem to actually land when they feel like they should.
Yeah, the netcode is just absolute trash.
Yeah.
The game just sucks. There's all sorts of jank, too, that would take a while to explain. Things like, when you walk up to these towers that give you experience over time, your character does an animation like they're hacking something, but they're doing it to what is clearly just a blue cylinder. So they're like, they're typing on glass with the thing inside of the glass.
The first time I played it, it literally was, I went to one of those towers. It says press F to capture it. F does nothing. Then Dan looked at the screen because he got to play a match before me, and he's like, "Oh, you already have that tower." I'm like, the only way I would know that is having known like what color it turns after you do it. Like, I'm just mashing F here
You're
and
like-
doing nothing.
You're like, the game's telling me I don't. It's telling me to grab it, but then it won't let me. It's fucking nuts. There's all sorts of jank with this thing. Sometimes it pops up with a proper loading screen that explains the game's mechanics. Other times it just goes black and makes you think it crashed. Like KZ was describing.
Yes.
The tutorial, as we explained, doesn't explain how the actual game works. Not that well, anyway. It's a fucking nightmare of a piece of shit of a game, and I'm really disappointed because I was hoping after this many years Amazon would finally get their shit together because they kidnapped Double Helix something like 6 years ago. Get it together.
Yes, they did one season of Killer Instinct 2013 and Strider, and then they were like, no, you're making cool stuff. Stop it.
Yeah.
Do you think the developers of this are like panicked this entire time, or do you think they were just like, almost nobody at the company knows we exist. We can just fuck around and drink all day. Oh fuck, they want something.
I don't know. I can't even imagine.
If you work on Crucible, please send an email to the email account in my Twitter bio on what the atmosphere at your company is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no way to communicate with your teammates, is there?
Yeah, you can't use the keyboard to talk, and you can't use voice chat.
You can ping things on the map. That's pretty much it.
It's true.
Well,
you
that's
can
good. According to certain lunatics, you shouldn't have voice chat.
Yeah. You should stop speaking. That's ableist.
I have a fun little mini game thing here. So this came out a day ago. This Crucible game, super new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Twitch. I want you to guess how many viewers that game has right now. As a point of reference, the top game, because just chatting's the top thing. The top game is Call of Duty Modern Warfare for Warzone. It has 143,000 viewers.
We need a better point
damn.
of reference. What's Bleeding Edge at?
Yeah, let's get Bleeding Edge's number.
Okay, I'll give you Bleeding Edge's.
Because that's my frame of reference now for how's your game doing.
Okay. So, let me just double check if this shit is, Alright. Bleeding Edge has 30 viewers on Twitch right now.
This has 7.
Across 6 streams.
I'm gonna say this has 7 viewers.
I'm gonna be optimistic. The game came out yesterday. It has 100 viewers.
Okay. Feel?
It just came out. It's free. It's on Steam. It has a lot more going for it than Bleeding Edge in terms of people at least trying it once. So I'm gonna say something like 5K because one big streamer decided to play it for like an hour.
The answer is 10.4K.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's doing way better than Bleeding Edge has ever done because they were able to put it on Amazon.
Next big think dimension, we're checking back.
Yeah, it's gonna be dead in a week. For
Easily.
Sure.
Easily.
When I saw that Bleeding Edge has 30 fucking people watching stream.
Yeah, no.
So how...
Bleeding Edge was just a stillborn product sent out to die. I don't know what the fuck Microsoft was thinking.
32.
Fucking Microsoft is like, hey, we want to buy studios with half-developed games so that way we can release 3/4 developed games.
Okay, now it's down to 30 views. This
Okay,
doesn't
you can-
count. It's 29 viewers because one stream that has one viewer in it is playing League instead of Bleeding Edge.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, we can't.
Yeah, we gotta stop.
Feel, you said you wanted to talk about some game?
Oh.
Yeah, I played some Ultra Instinct Goku since he came out yesterday if you bought the season pass.
Oh, we were going to do that after the podcast.
He seems pretty cool. I didn't mess around with him too much. I didn't even play like any rank because I'm like, why would I play ranked now when I can play it on the PS5 in a couple months? And it'll load really fast.
Damn.
But yeah, he's neat. He has some goofy stuff. They sure spent a lot of money. Like half his moves have cinematic components.
Good.
Or it's just like you are now locked in the cutscene with he has a normal move that is as long as a super.
Oh, that counter thing he can do?
No, not that, but he has like a thing where if he hits, he like surrounds you with Kamehameha orbs and then does a big beam, but it's just a normal move and doesn't do that much damage, but it's like 15 seconds long.
I think that move's funny because they're taking it from that arc in Super where he wasn't even Ultra Instinct for it. It was just something he was doing in normal state, but it was cool.
Well, yeah, you gotta get all the cool stuff, man.
They definitely spent all the money on this guy.
I mean, Kefla had a lot of money, it felt like. So I can't complain.
I mean, Ultra Instinct Goku's very cool.
Yeah. If this is just the new standard for this pass, and that's pretty great.
Spew.
I
Mark
also
that off your bingo
game.
cards. We got to speed in.
Damn it! I need to not give them this shit for free.
Couldn't pass it up.
Nope.
We also got the PS5 one in this segment too. That's rough.
But yeah, that's all I played.
Oh.
I wanted to point out one thing. I almost got a chance to play something else, and and it's for the funniest reasons I couldn't. I was going to try out that there's a mod for Dark Souls 3 that completely rebalances that game and adds like double the content to it in terms of like weapons, spells, and other stuff. And I was like, I guess I'll buy it on Steam. Why is this 4-year-old game $60? And I was like, I guess I won't do that. But on Humble, it's on sale, the deluxe edition, for $14. So I picked it up. And they said, we don't have it. We ran out of keys. We'll email you later if we get some more keys. And I'm like, oh, this is real?
Yeah, that can happen.
The digital future?
Man, usually I hear about that with Nintendo, not Steam.
This was like 7 years. It was Humble, not Steam. But this did happen to Steam once, like 7 years ago. I don't know if anybody was playing PC games at the time. They had a Christmas event where you could get free games in like a raffle if you collected coal, which you got by doing certain things. People farmed so many like bots, fucked them so hard that they ran out of game keys in like 2 days, and Valve was just like, we're giving away Valve games now because we have that. And then they never did a neat event ever again.
I just thought it was funny that I had a perfect opportunity to pick up a game, and they're like, no, we ran out. And it's been like a day. They still don't have it. I'm like, this money will matter eventually.
Well, we're moving on to the Pod Lords.
The Pod Lords?
Yeah!
Pod Lord?
Oh, fuck!
Yes, that's right, the Pod Lords. Pod Lords such as Danny Richardson, E. Lee Broyles. You can tell I'm drawing out his name because I need to screen cap the next guy.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Virgil Busey. God.
Idiot.
Oh no! If you hit him 3 times, he rolls away to escape your combo.
Good lord. Beige Sand.
Okay.
Oh,
Dank.
hanging out in the beige sand.
Dank Mormons. Dan Sanbakto. Not Gag. Red Blaze 27. Vote for Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Okay, where? I mean, gladly, but where? Suzu Shiro. Emperor Zero. Reconnect. An Oath to Rare Turn. Donkey Kong 64.
Donkey Kong 64!
The limit cut version of K. Rool is real rough.
You just gotta learn the fight. You just gotta learn it. Hit the toe.
Feel agreeing to the Killzone Shadowfall spoiler cast if Dan does Danganronpa. I assume they meant Dongan, but...
I mean, I already agreed to do it and bought it.
I don't know how they would screw that up. The J is so far away from the D.
I know.
No, they mean Janganronpa as in January where you play them all.
Oh. That would never happen.
No.
The teeth of the next vice president of the United States. It's Amy Klobuchar's. For anyone who's curious, I looked it up. Thanks, person who sent me a picture of Amy Klobuchar's teeth.
It's clobbering time.
Lady Popscorn.
An atmospheric
horror game.
Software.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
But the Podlords beat him over the fence. He has no style. He has no grace. This Kong is a monument to all of your sins. It's true.
I'm so excited.
The only actual unironic Stan the Man Stan. Jesus Christ Stan.
Very powerful.
You know, it's really great when only a few months ago, Stan made a statement of, I will never help you get Donkey Kong 64. I don't even like that game. But then had a change of heart when he went, it'll hurt him. It'll hurt Dan. It'll hurt Bob. Let me inspire the people.
Inspired them to force Stan and Bob to get all 200 golden bananas.
No comment. Moving on through the Podlord segment. Bone apple tea. And it's a picture of Bob's food he made with the fucking spam or hash from earlier this week.
Bob's like, hey, that's my food.
That's copyright theft. I'll sue you. WTF Spider-Man.
What?
Dan's sanity, and you gotta look at it. Like that is sandwich between Bleach and Donkey Kong 64 while screaming.
What's the thing on your head?
Is that spam?
I don't know.
It looks like they just shopped your face onto AVGN.
No, that's
'Cause
me.
It looks like
That's a really old image, but that's me.
Yeah, I know. You're so clean shaven.
it just looks like you're doing the AVGN's. Fuck.
I mean, I am literally doing that.
Oh, okay. What, do you think they photoshopped AVGN's mouth onto Dan?
Have you seen some of their thumbnails? Yes.
Chad, this isn't a bit. That's just my name.
Oh, it's a guy from History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi, the manga where the guy got told he could draw tits and then went psychotic.
Unknown artwork. Bob Toasters has had 0 time to make a new Karnov edit, so here's art for Guardians of the Hood instead. Thank you? I guess this is... I mean... It sure is that thing you said.
For some reason, I thought Guardians of the Hood was that thing with the anime boy Jack Frost that wasn't actually Japanese.
It's the worst game to be done, but to us viewers, we have won. Dan and Bob go ahead and cry. At the end, you'll probably die, and it's Donkey Kong pointing a gun at the screen because it's the old
beta version where they use real guns.
Yes.
Oh,
And Miyamoto was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
yeah, because fucking there's a screenshot of Diddy with an Uzi.
Oh, wow.
You know, until they're like, all right, it'll be made out of a tree and it'll shoot peanuts.
So fucking funny.
This is worse than you think, but 1 week remains. I told you, Phil, that was not what he was gonna do. Because if it was Donkey Kong 64, this countdown would have ended.
Now I'm scared.
You should be. Warning, demonic presence threat level 5 entering the Gig Boots facility. It's Donkey Kong 64 invading.
Curse of Dong.
Dan pulls KZ's robotic body out of the holding thing and just slams it on the ground, retrieving him from a 15-hour nap for the stream.
DFW 3K. Devil Mafia Muckbud. Voltic.exe. King, oh my god. King K Rojo, ready to steal the Crystal Coconut in DK Munt's Curse Content Club Donkey Kong Country Part 2.
That sounds like a good idea. We should do that.
What is this red ink and K rule?
It's King K. Rojo.
Yeah, King K. Rojo.
That better not be a real thing.
You're afraid that that's an episode.
Yes, I am. Where we like flash back to K. Rool's fucking ancestors or some shit.
No comment.
No comment. A shiny Mew appears to be holding a college diploma, which I'm glad I'm not the only human who saw that, saw that GIF and went, yeah, it looks like it's trying to hold something. But now it is. It has been edited through science. We can simulate that. Senti Kunai. Chase. Ray. KC is overcoming fear to give love and support. The crystal I wear around my neck contains an essence that gets recharged when I jack it with a bro who also has a crystal.
The DMC necklace is the picture of the DMC necklace.
No, the picture isn't that. Here's the picture. Feel free to not cut it in, KZ. Anyway, a fellow podlord that pogchamps responsibly while out in public.
I'm surprised nobody has made those. I'm surprised that doesn't exist.
What do you mean?
The PogChamp face mask.
That does exist.
Oh, it does? I assumed that was a fucking edit.
Oh, no, I was linked that earlier this afternoon.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Bleach soon, boyos. You gotta change your name. Or at least soon you'll have to change your name. Toad's Tunes. Oh my god, I can't even begin to read this. What a nightmare. Spams. Fuck. Shit. No, this is because it's literally hard to read. Spam Banzakura Kagayoshi.
That'll make sense in 2.5 years.
Fuck you.
It's gonna be wonderful.
Bloodborne at 120 frames per second.
At least it would feel good.
Yeah, I'd feel a lot better at that. If that PC port's real, that'd be nice. Jesus fuck. Usually I catch these things the first time through. Usually they don't stab me. Here's why I didn't catch it. The way this person set up their Patreon, it doesn't let me zoom in on the image. So this is all we get. The curse of Dong has been made manifest and now curses our souls. We must expand Dong for our dark savior Lanky Kong. Oh, banana. And
banana. Oh,
he's holding a gun to his own head.
Oh my god, he is.
He is. I was like, does he have a...
It's so hard to see in that tiny image.
Here's Lanky. He's dead.
Skyfire Hero just watched Beastars with his mom, so what's next? Bleach or Code Geass? Man, that's... I don't know. Good luck with that.
You should try Code Geass. It's a fifth of the length.
It is a lot shorter.
The dulcet tones of Feel's suffering.
Look, a collection of vomit. You see, that's great because the voice actress goes.
There's a reason that character is in the category I have marked the dregs.
It's funny because if I made a tier list, she'd be higher up just because I think this is funny. Not the green one though. Not a fan of that.
Jorn, a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure developed by M Software, set in a colorful universe of odd powers and sombrero that one time. Lamu. Thank you, Lamu. I need a break, you guys.
Right?
This is the last one that gets a picture. It's really good though, because by the time I hit this point, I'm like,
this fucking better be.
This is a lot of work. I'm not sure that these people need pictures for their jokes. A 343 dev working his hardest on Infinite's campaign. On one screen is Mass Effect 3, on the other is Star Trek Picard.
That is fucking stellar.
Yes.
Okay, that might be one of the best ones we've gotten in weeks.
Dan Video Games, the most tired man in all of the Gigasoul society. We've already shown the art of that. It's still really good. Reference older big things. And Kyle Bjork. Thank you very much to our podlords.
Thank you, podlords.
Thank you. Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords. And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits, such as cursed content commentary tracks, where we review the horrible things we watch, cursed content by committee, where you vote on what horrible thing we watch, extended armchair dev pitches, where we actually get to convey our ideas, early access to Mondo Cool, that's our Dragon Ball movie review podcast, and early access to Chugging Bleach, our Bleach review podcast that will be running from now until roughly the heat death of the universe. That's patreon.com/gbpodcasts.
Dan, I have an important question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you gotten any good replies in your Twitter inbox?
Yes, that's right. It's time for that segment again. It is Dan's Insane Reply of the Week. We actually had a few this week.
Ooh.
We...
Anything better than last week's the Wii U created 60 FPS?
There's a lot of things are all over the place, you know. It's hard to tell what's more insane. Some things require knowledge of things to be able to tell how insane they were. We're going to start with the runner-up. Somebody replying to a tweet Feel made said, "Are you seriously implying PS3s and 360s were more powerful than self-built PCs when they came out? Because the leapfrogging only happened when pre-builts were the norm in the past, not because of some secret technology consoles used to get more power for half the price. Pentium Ds and Pentium 4s suck shit. They are absolutely more powerful than that, you fucking stooge. Also, pre-built PCs are more common now than they ever were back then for gamers. Learn your fucking,
Alienware, though.
Yeah, Alienware existed. Congratulations. That's just the same as literally everyone, including Walmart, having gaming tier products, which is where we are nowadays. Anyway, that was the runner-up because, man, that had a real PC games didn't exist until I was old enough from last week energy.
When I turned 11, Crysis came out.
Yes. Yes, it did. Our actual winning insane reply of the week was a late entry. But here we go. I posted a picture of me holding Brink doing a smile, and somebody quote retweeted and replied, "The better Overwatch."
God, this happened in the last 30 minutes.
I hate you. I hate you because you announced something that won in our Discord. So I was bracing like, I don't remember what it was. What could... No. No.
I played neither of these games. I'm going to say sure.
God damn it, Phil. You can't just agree with people on shit you know nothing about. We're
Sure
not
I
on
can.
Twitter
That's what
right
Twitter
now.
is for.
Yes, but we're not on Twitter. Feels like I'm always on Twitter. That's my secret.
Cuts to a fucking X-ray of my skull. I have a brain tumor.
I see my timeline make fun of Overwatch more, so I'm gonna have to say Overwatch is better.
So that's Dan's insane reply of the week. Enough of that. Let's talk about insane shit that happened in news. A 2011 build of Gears of War 3 ported to the PS3 surfaced, and there is a YouTube video that's a full 8.5-hour Let's Play of the fucking thing. That shit is real.
Yeah.
You can go watch it. The guy proved it was on a dev kit. That's nuts. It runs like shit, by the way.
Of course.
Like every 360 to PS3 port, it runs like shit. Who saw that coming? This dude has seemingly the only version of this build, the only copy of this build from, I believe it was June 2011. It's kind of nuts. The funny thing is, this makes you wonder if Microsoft actually owned the Gears IP back then or had exclusivity, and if Epic was actually interested in porting it to PS3.
I think Epic officially came out and said that they were working on that as like just a test bed for their engine in general.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like that's their official response to that video.
I don't know why you do that in 2011, but I guess you could do that. That would help you figure out how your engine still doesn't run well on that platform.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's totally nuts and really cool. You know what's also really cool, Bob?
What's that?
Racing cockpits. And apparently a manufacturer of racing cockpits made a tweet where they're like talking about games that, you know, they would support. Gran Turismo 7's logo was in one of them.
Yes.
What the fuck were they thinking?
Dan, I don't know what you're talking about. That's the logo they stole off the internet. They swear.
They swear it existed already.
Even though I couldn't find it as much as I tried.
Yeah.
No, that's so funny. It's so fucking funny. They're like, what?
Man, you
This
know
was already on the internet, right? What? There wasn't?
You ever think about how the new Gran Turismo 7 is going to run at 120 frames a second at 4K, and Forza is going to run at 30 at most platforms it exists
I
on?
swear to God, there's no way Forza runs at 30 on the fucking Series X. There's no way.
No, not on the Series X. It runs 60 on the Series X. It'll run 30 on most of its platforms.
Most?
I mean, they've been good about keeping it 60 for the mainline entries for a long time. We'll see if they break that record.
But they didn't have to make it run on something an eighth as powerful as the primary platform.
Oh, no. The eighth as powerful thing is the primary platform. That's the Microsoft strategy.
They can get it to run at a decent frame rate for like the launch Xbox One. It's just going to be 540p.
If even.
They'll also apply a sharpening filter, just like portable mode Xenoblade 2.
Oh my God.
It has no visual upgrades over Forza 7. I think that's there 7. And then it runs at a higher res on Xbox Series X, and that's it.
Oh, God, that would be depressing.
Yeah, it would.
A complete stagnation on Microsoft's side for their key racing franchise. And then Sony's like, hey, we stopped fucking around for the first time in 7 years. Here's a real Gran Turismo. But yeah, for people who don't know, there actually were a lot of leaks and other things implying that a Gran Turismo is coming out for the PS5, possibly at launch. So this is funny because of that. PlayStation Brazil in the same fucking day made a Twitter poll asking what games people liked and listed Gran Turismo 7!
What's happening over there?
They then had to correct it to then show images of each game and had Gran Turismo Sport. But I cannot believe within 24 hours,
Yeah. That shit's
we have
hilarious.
2 GT7 tweets from companies. One of them being Sony.
Yeah.
I really want Gran Turismo 7 to be real and good and return to form for that series. That'd be great.
Let's see. We also have some PS5 news. Linus from Linus Tech Tips said that Tim Sweeney is lying to
I'm
people
gonna fucking shoot you in the head.
because he can't believe that the PlayStation 5 could be powerful in certain ways more so than a PC. He said,
Here's a tech tip. Shut the fuck up about Linus Tech Tips.
"No, this is news. It's blowing up out there." You
No,
know?
it's not.
How is it not news? Wow, I expected a response. I didn't. That wasn't me debunking you. I was expecting any response.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's really funny.
It's news.
Yeah, he's a reputable news outlet. We have to cover if he screws up.
Beal, don't agree with him. I'll set you on fire.
Lots of people get their tech news from Linus Tech Tips. So when he tells them that Tim Sweeney is taking money from Sony and lying to people about things that are demonstrably false, his words. That's Linus Tech Tips. News of the week. We have some other more positive PS5 news.
No, wait. It's my turn to swing now.
God damn you, motherfuckers.
PC Gamer put out a fucking article today that said some shit like, surprise, the Unreal 5 demo runs better on this laptop. It was a fucking video. It was a video of the demo running. Tim Sweeney said it was a video of the demo running, but then they include his next tweet of basically saying, I'm not answering any more questions, as evidence it wasn't actually what he said. It was a fucking running.
Yeah.
Fuck PC Gamer. These fucking PC Master Race dipshits are fucking, they're all like 18 to 24. They don't remember before the last gen transition. So now that we're back to normal, where the Sony and Microsoft are trying, they're losing their fucking minds because they can't comprehend PC leapfrog, console leapfrogging PC.
Yeah. it's a really hard concept for people who have absolutely no sense of history. Most of the people who are PCMR who've come at me on Twitter haven't touched a console in like 10 years. So all of their reasons why consoles suck are insanely outdated. And of course have no understanding of PC. By the way, my least favorite type of fanboy, tech illiterate PCMR. It's been a pretty miserable week since that Unreal Engine thing was showed off. But it's okay. I'm sure everything will get better when the PS5 showcase happens in the first week of June. As Jeff Grubb here is saying, early June, we're going to get a showcase of first-party and third-party PS5 games. And Sony CEO says they're going to introduce a compelling PS5 lineup very soon. So that all lines up. I'm sure people will see that and they won't say the insane shit they've been saying about Unreal Engine 5 where they say this is fake.
No, that's going to be a whole new wave of this is fake, that's running on PC.
I know that I'm lying.
Okay. It's so bad. It's so bad.
And then they'll say, no, the only real next-gen footage we've seen is from the Microsoft event they rushed out the week before Sony.
Yeah.
So we got some updated details on that Silent Hill PS5 thing.
Mm-hmm.
The insider Dust Golem, who I've talked to a few times, collected all of the info that they had on it. Apparently Konami was shopping around people to do taking Silent Hill pitches for a while in 2017, 2018. Nothing really came through, but more recently they had finally found a place, which was going to be Sony Japan Studios. And they were going to do a PS5 exclusive Silent Hill game, being directed by Keiichiro Toyama, who directed the first Silent Hill game, as well as the Siren series and Gravity Rush. This is meant to be a soft reboot, one that anyone can just jump into this specific game. The original artist and composers for the Silent Hill series are working on it, and the game already has a playable demo, which should likely appear after they've revealed the game properly.
Exciting.
Yeah, so that's the first chunk of tangible info we have on something, like a full-on first-party-esque PS5 game. That would also make this Is that the newest game from that studio after Gravity Rush 2?
I was going to say, this means we won't get a Gravity Rush 3 for launch. Sad.
I mean, Gravity Rush 2 kind of dived into the core of the earth.
It did.
Yeah, you looked at that release date and you went, what are you doing?
Everybody else in that death block survived. The only sacrifice was Gravity Rush 2.
16 games released in that January to March chunk. And you're like, what are you doing?
Well, we're just going to release it, not market it or anything, and it'll be fine.
It'll work out.
I see Casey's got some news about them making Command & Conquer Red Alert and Red Alert open source earlier this week. That's pretty hype shit.
Yeah, alongside the Command & Conquer remaster, they're releasing the source code as open source. And everything about that remaster, as someone who's just looking on the outside, is like, wow, they really seem to be doing their best to make that a really good remaster, which is a nice pivot from that shit they did at that E3 one year.
I think this is
Command
really...
& Conquer Mobile esports. Show this esports Command & Conquer battle.
Yeah, that was something.
Do you think E3 just took such a pummeling this gen and saw microtransactions get yanked away from them, potentially by law, that they're we gotta hedge our bets and sort of become a real company again?
You mean EA?
Yeah, I mean EA.
E3 took a pummeling.
Look, I was thinking about
E3. The shit out of me.
We were talking about E3 and my brain crossed the wires, but yes, I mean EA.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know that they're ever gonna recover. This is just one tiny nice thing they've done.
Yes.
But that tweet from earlier this week where someone goes, what hell dimension timeline did we end up in where id is putting 0-level kernel exploits in their fucking DRM, but EA is open sourcing their old games?
Phil, talk about that. You have that up there.
Yeah, so they put in de novo anti-cheat, which has kernel level access and is a massive security risk. And people shit on them so hard, they're like, no, we're sorry. I'm trying to delete it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Girls are yelling at me.
I honestly was going to uninstall it. But by the time I had the opportunity to, they announced that they were going to remove it.
Don't ruin your game for multiplayer modes nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah, no, absolutely don't do that.
Like you can ruin your game for the multiplayer in Halo. You can't ruin it. You can't ruin it for Doom Eternal.
Bob,
what's up?
I don't know how to feel about this news. Talk about your COD news.
The COD news. Rumor of Call of Duty 2020 is going to be called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Didn't the first Black Ops game take place in the Cold War?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
This is from a very well-known like Call of Duty like leaker who just posted a PNG of Call of Duty Black Ops for the 360, but then just wrote in Arial font Cold War under it.
I mean, I can't be surprised by their naming conventions when they used Modern Warfare again.
The last Black Ops game had the Roman numeral 4 done wrong.
But as an intentional choice. Also, fucked up enough, we have a historical precedence for that. Just like Chvrches and Chorvs.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know.
Again,
Yeah.
Chorvs. Yeah, they went out there and they tried to explain, you see, here's the reason why we're being stupid.
That is how that went, actually, yeah.
See, I had always assumed it was like writing things on a prison wall where you do 1, 2, 3, 4 and then cross it out for 5. But I guess they had a much dumber explanation.
I was hoping they would do that with 5. Like I was waiting for the slash.
I think this lines up with that thing we heard last time of they're bolting on a campaign mode, because last time they didn't have one and there were 2 different companies working on it, and this game is probably going to be a nightmare. I hope it isn't, but who knows?
Probably. By now, in a publishing marketing cycle, we should have seen the dog or the fish AI, but we haven't seen either.
Yeah, we should have seen some sort of tease with fish AI.
Do they still have marketing with Sony? Because that might be why.
Yeah, that could well go forward. We have no idea.
I mean,
can change every year.
Yeah.
They could just, be waiting to do a big drop there because it's, next gen.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Isn't this the Call of Duty where it was that other developer's turn, but they said no, you're not doing it, and then they dumped it on these guys and said, all right, it's time for you to make it.
You have one less year than you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Throwing darts on board. Black Ops Cold War.
A little bit. Comes off as that a little bit.
I wonder if Sledgehammer just shut down. Who knows?
Maybe they're a support studio like all the others.
Probably.
I was thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
When Microsoft advertised that whole next gen Series X gameplay showcase from third parties, right?
Uh-huh.
What you expect when you think next gen and third parties is stuff like Call of Duty and all these big franchises.
Yeah.
But the only thing like that was Assassin's Creed.
Right. And that was an incredibly disappointing trailer.
So, yeah, that thing was disappointing in a number of different ways. I'm just thinking about how bad it looks when Sony's like, oh, yeah, we're third parties are there. And it's like Call of Duty, probably someone else. I mean, allegedly Silent Hill.
Yeah, gonna laugh when Sony does their thing and they show a trailer for new Destiny content.
Yeah,
it's going to be good because it'll be running 60.
I think you mean 120.
Well, YouTube won't display at 120.
No,
yeah,
it won't.
The dream.
Exactly. Now let's get back to the dream.
Yes.
Okay.
Of The Last of Us Part 2 custom PS4 Pro?
No.
You know what you need to buy that's coming out in June, like 4 to 5 months before a new console? A PS4 Pro.
No.
It's a pattern that they pressed into it, so it's like indented.
No.
They're doing an Xbox One X for Cyberpunk, which comes out literally 2 months before the fucking Series X.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up because they were selling that on the Microsoft website for $2,000.
Excuse me, for what?
$2,000.
That might just be a placeholder, though.
Hopefully.
There's no way it's 2,000. That's insane.
deal was it's actually a Series X, and that's how much the Series X is going to cost.
We have leaks. We have leaks.
Okay, no,
my
that's
God.
too much.
So, KZ, I slept a full night's rest, basically. Which
Yes.
means I missed Jeff Keighley's insanely hype news of this morning from Summer Game Fest. KZ, tell me about Valorant.
Valorant, if you do not know, is Riot's it's their shooter game. It's like it has like hero stuff, but it's more Counter-Strike Go-y.
And it's like a MOBA.
It's Overstrike. Wait.
Oh no. Use.
Do not talk about Overstrike.
They showed off a little bit. They had a couple people on there. The game director came on, and I lost my mind at this dude wearing a Roxas necklace and had a Keyblade in the back wall. He's just a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and I'm like, you almost make me want to get this. However, your DRM has a rootkit in it, so I can't do that. They announced that it's coming out of beta on June 2nd, ahead of schedule. It's going to include, I think they said at least a couple of more heroes, an additional map, and another mode that they refused to say what the mode actually was, but they just said it isn't team deathmatch.
It's beta tested in the future, KZ.
Just like the Xbox One.
The iconic thing beta tested in the future. But yeah, they were just mainly talking up how they were, getting it done, working hard to get it done quickly, get it done faster than expected. And then they're going to launch it, and then they were just, it's that usual, like, fluffy interview where there's not much going on there at all.
Right. I'm excited to try it out next week, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, because they said they had an additional mode in there, so that'll be...
Yeah, it'll be their Battle Royale mode.
I mean, that's good. Is that... Like,
no, it's not.
When Overwatch came out of beta, like they didn't add anything when it did its official launch. It was just that game you played earlier, but now you can buy boxes.
Casey, that meant that the part you would play at launch was tested because you were in the beta before. This means they're launching a new mode without anyone testing it. It might be terrible.
Valorant's being tested right now. You can play it now.
Not the mode you're talking about because it's new.
Oh. Okay, that is a good point. Do you think they have a public test realm for Valorant? Do you think they just don't have one the way Fallout 76 doesn't have one?
I hope they do. Riot has a lot more experience making online games than Bethesda. So yeah, I would imagine that they've figured things out. But who knows? They're also insane and making like 10 games.
Also, modern video games have poisoned me with the concept of betas that my brain has fully adapted to. They're demos. They're demos, and that's their only purpose. The only time they're not is if it's Nioh doing it. So we got some more details on the Mafia trilogy that's coming out. It's out now technically. You can buy the trilogy and then Mafia 1, which is the one thing that isn't out yet. You'll just get it when it's out, which will be August 28th. It's a remake built using the Mafia 3 engine. Has a bunch of new gameplay, cutscenes, and other sequences to add on to it.
It's so weird that they would do this because with Yakuza it made sense. You got them like sequentially. Here you get 2 and 3, but you don't get to play 1.
Well, yeah, they're not. They're all unrelated.
It's still weird, and I know a lot of people have a hang up of not wanting to play the sequels before the old ones, even if they aren't related.
Yeah, this is kind of a result of 2 of these being remaster-esque things, where one of them is an actual product with a lot more put into it. Mafia 2 and 3 Definitive Edition are out now. If you owned 2 on Steam or 3 on console/PC, you get the updated versions for free, which means that's already happened now. So they've already delisted the old ones so that you can't
What
cheat.
on earth is Mafia Remastered? That game came out 4 years ago.
What do you?
I don't know.
Oh, you mean the newer ones? I was like, Mafia 1?
Yeah,
did
the
not come
newer
out-
one. Like Yeah, like, I mean Mafia 3 specifically. Like, what is remastered? It came out 4 years ago on the current hardware.
Yeah, I don't know. It was on the consoles, and they're like, the definitive edition's been updated, so they must have done something to it. Maybe they removed some of the padding. Maybe they like added enhancements for the X and the Pro. I don't know what I can tell you about Mafia 2.
It includes the DLC and nothing else.
Okay. I played the Mafia 2 thing, and I've never played any of these games before. Ugh.
What? What part is
aiming down a gun dropped the frame rate to like 19 in the opening gameplay segment.
Well, that gameplay segment runs like shit because it's like you're in World War II for 2 seconds.
Whatever. It's like five people shooting on a map. This is a last gen game on a PS4 Pro.
That's why we need new consoles, Casey. It'll run fine on the PS5.
You already filled that square, asshole. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the Mafia stuff.
I have some news that's relevant to people who've been playing Halo 2 with us through our random streams with the community. So they put out a new update for Halo 2, across Xbox, PC's Xbox Game Pass, and Microsoft Store and Steam. Just to recap how bad the situation is and how bad it is to use the Microsoft Store and the Xbox beta app for PC to download the shit, let me just read the size of these updates. If you have the Steam version of the Master Chief Collection,
that's mine.
It is an update that is 176 megabytes.
That's reasonable.
That is super reasonable. That's respectable.
That's what I would expect for like a bug
Yeah.
or two to just,
It's
super
just
easy.
Some audio stuff wasn't working, some other stuff wasn't working. We're gonna fix that. There you go. Xbox, it's markedly larger at over 10 times the size at 1.96 gigabytes, so almost 2 gigs for the Xbox version. And that's not
compressed.
That's not great. Maybe they had to rework it because they need to work in more of the code base from the PC version. The thing they hopefully fixed was shooting the floor and killing people randomly. So hopefully it's going to fix that, and it's going to bring them more in line. Maybe we'll get some crossplay at some point. Now, the Microsoft Store and Xbox beta app for PC, so you can use your Game Pass. The update is 7.74 gigabytes.
Download the game again.
I missed that one.
It is over. It is like 5 times the size. 7 3/4 gigabytes compared to 176 megs on Steam.
Should have compressed.
Supposed to be the thing.
How?
It's not changing the files. You're just having to re-download the whole game.
Why are they fucking like this?
I don't know, but this gets even funnier when you talk about the PS5 doesn't need to install updates. If this shit continues into next gen with this insane re-download way too much of the game, install this update. That looks like even more of a joke. God, this is so bad. I'm really glad I broke down and bought the Steam version.
I should do that. I don't need to deal with that thing anymore.
Yeah,
it's an
That's an accurate summary. Yeah, it's an accurate summary. Oh my God, Casey, it's happening. I see your news. I can't believe. I can't believe this day's finally come. This is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You should skip it.
Sure. Kingdom Hearts Dark Road has been delayed out of spring due to the obvious things happening right now. They said they were going to have some announcements about it like next month, though.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You got anything else from our boy Jeff Keighley?
It's so harsh.
Dan, did you delete it entirely?
Never mind. I'm seeing this breaking news in Bob's segment. Bob, what's this about PSO2?
Oh, PSO2. This game I played never.
Why are you stealing my news, Dan, and giving it to Bob?
I don't know what you're talking about, Casey. It was always in Bob's thing.
It's always been there. Jesus fucking Christ.
Take
Bob,
your medication.
You're right. Nothing bad will happen to anybody's news anymore.
It's coming out May 27th on PC in North America. Oh no, it's gone. Where'd it go?
Oh, that's cool.
Something must have happened to it.
Okay, here we go.
May 27th in North America. That's pretty good.
That's crazy. It's finally happening, guys. Congratulations, everyone.
Now, I hope you're looking forward to playing Fantasy Star Online 2 on PC. Windows 10 store only.
Why is it? Wait, what? The Microsoft Store only?
Is that real?
Yeah,
made
it's
that
only
up,
on,
right?
It's on, yeah.
You
no, that's real.
Okay, so
What?
it isn't out on PC on March 27th. It doesn't exist.
No, it totally is.
No. You stop
it isn't.
saying that.
That's worse than the Epic Games Store.
It literally is.
I'm sorry, but we got to do it. This has been my white whale. I've been waiting so long to play this in English without having to torrent 17 things.
It's gonna brick your fucking
We
PC.
got to go and venture to the Windows 10 store together. We can make robot men or anime women.
No.
No.
It's going to be a great time.
No.
This bullshit. You got to do this. You got to play Killzone Shadowfall, KZ. Meanwhile, you can't tolerate the Windows 10 store.
By the time
For
we have
one
to play
game.
Killzone Shadowfall, Microsoft will have given up and just put it on Steam.
I mean, one, that, two, KZ, that's the difference between you guys need to play the 7-hour shooter because it will be funny. And Dan, you need to venture to the depths of hell to play a giant MMO.
What?
Why would I do
Fine.
either of those things?
Well, this is a fun action game.
With somber tapestries.
Yes.
Bob,
What's up?
read some news.
Sure, I have. Wait. Okay, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, KZ took a hatchet to Fields News. I don't know. Dude's a psychopath.
Oh, what's happening? Unfortunately,
I'm sorry, but when my hosts are very unprofessional, I just had to give up.
every day's menu for the Emiya family got delayed. It was a game for the Switch coming out in Japan where you cooked food for Saber.
God damn it. I forgot about the
You
food.
beat Saber tacos.
I
Yes.
forgot that was getting a game.
Yeah. It was going to be in May. Now it's delayed indefinitely. We don't know when it's going to what's going to happen because of everything that's happening in the world at the moment.
That's really unfortunate.
They're also doing some updates for Nioh 2. They added a photo mode and 9 extra missions to the game for free.
Oh,
That's already out.
that shit's free?
Yes.
And it's out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then they also talked about the first DLC pack. They actually kind of just broadly talked about all the DLC that's coming. They said that there will be new storylines, new yokai, new bosses, new guardian spirits, new skills, new armors, and a new weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. The last time they did that, the new weapons they had were pretty cool, like the Tonfas. So I'm excited to see what they do because they kind of have a really full roster of weapons already. So, yeah.
And they've been doing a legitimately cool job supporting that game and making it run much better than the first. And I really wish I was into Nioh 2 because the game, it has a really positive vibe coming off of it, you know?
Yeah, no, every time they do updates, it seems like they get it. And it's nice. And they're just adding more stuff, and that's cool.
I came out of it really satisfied. It didn't have a major dip or anything like that.
Yeah, I need to go back and finish it at some point, maybe after I finish Trials of Mana.
You have to. The last chunk is really stupid.
After
Good.
you finish the adventures of Uwu Dobo.
I really want to start a new game where I just have her as my main character. Because I only run into her through the story and don't have her even on my party. There's not enough Uwu Dobo. But the other piece of news I got here.
Yeah.
Platinum Games shoot down rumors that Microsoft is buying them.
Mhm.
Inaba basically came out and said that's not happening. They're all about self-publishing now.
Real quick,
What's up?
where did this rumor even fucking come from?
I don't know.
What sort of idiot came up with the...
Phil Spencer went to Japan, and everyone's like, they'll buy platinum.
They're going to buy the people
Brink.
whose game they canceled.
Right? It doesn't
What?
make any sense.
Yeah, but now that they own them, they'll make sure that they work things right because it was all Platinum's incompetence that's the reason that everything bad happened over there and not at all Microsoft.
And then
Yeah,
owning them as a corporation is going to help them work better? That doesn't make fucking sense.
Yeah, it's insane.
I saw something that was unironically kind of leaning toward that direction where they're like, Platinum's really aimless, and once they actually have some proper staff managing them, keeping them on task.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's it.
Apparently this wasn't like a current thing. It's something from last year, and they were just like brought it up in an interview, a large interview.
Yeah, they were. I forget who did the interview at this point, but Kamiya even jokes about Microsoft learned that they still worked there before they ran out.
Or they're like, oh man, that Kamiya guy's still here. We can't buy them.
Kamiya also says about Bayonetta 3, take any concerns you have like that, isn't it being canceled, and throw them out the window immediately. So he's
okay. I still have the concerns it's going to be structured like Astral Chain.
Yeah, I'm still concerned it'll be very bad, but I guess it's happening.
Bayonetta, we need you to give this ice cream to these children.
You know what? That might be better than some of Bayonetta's 2 stuff.
I mean, you gotta use Bayonetta's powers to move the semi truck into a spot and
use Wicked Weaves to push the trucks.
We went for the same fucking one. Like, what's the worst part of Astral Chain? Let's just throw it in there.
I'm trying to remember the name of that kid you play for. Is for like 3 seconds in Bayonetta 2.
Oh, his name was Ryan.
Loki.
That's all the news I got.
Okay.
It's funny because he looks exactly like Wonder Black from the Wonderful 101.
Yeah.
Does he? I haven't seen Wonder Black.
His hair color is different, but yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't seen Wonder Black.
Bigger mandible.
Izzy, give me my news pack.
Hit undo a bunch.
It only works for the person who did it.
Oh, damn it. Hold on.
Okay.
Man, I got rid of a lot. Jesus.
Let's whip through some fast ones. Fairy Tail got delayed to July 31st. That's sad. I was excited to play it next month.
That's delay number 2.
And we're in the middle of a pandemic, so it isn't surprising. Mojang has been rebranded as Mojang Studios, which I only parse as it being like the studio version of not moving so the predator can't see you. It's like, they think we changed so they won't look any closer and find something to change for us.
Oh, my read of that was Microsoft saying you are Mojang Studios now. You will now be making 17 Minecraft spin-offs. They're all due next year.
They're trying to turn them into a 343. So they need to be making all of the spin-off games and the content deals in-house.
But it's Minecraft.
Yes.
The Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 soundtrack was revealed. The Death Set, which was a band that said they were approached to be in a Tony Hawk game earlier this year, is not in it, which means either they're planning some kind of DLC that will have more music, or they're making like a full-size game.
If I were to put money on one of these, it would be the music DLC. I see them as thinking music packs will make sense, which it would. Yeah, absolutely. They definitely would be able to sell music to people to put in this game if they did it in packs and for relatively cheap.
One of French Bread, they made Under Night In-Birth, Melty Blood, and Geki Bunko Fighting Climax.
Ooh, that's what that stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel it typed into the document DBFC, and I'm like, Dragon Ball, fuck.
But, you know, like their combat director who designs like the systems played on rollback and was like, we should put rollback in our games going forward.
And he's like, I like this. I want this.
Why does it take this? How does it take us this long to get them?
Humanity has to almost end,
right?
In order for them to finally realize.
Since we're talking about Melty Blood anyway, the composer recently did a YouTube video where he was like, apparently it's been a secret of who sang the song for the opening of Melty Blood originally. Yeah, it was me. I sang it.
That's neat.
Man,
there's at least one person who wasn't paying attention and thought Bob sang the Melty Blood theme.
Yes.
What a soothing voice.
Serious Sam 4 is console exclusive to Stadia for a while. We don't know how long. It will not be on PS4 or Xbox One for several months. I hope Google paid them $60 billion for like a month of exclusivity.
That shit is ridiculous. Like, it's Serious Sam 4. What what Serious Sam fanboy are you winning over to the Stadia?
Right? I'm like, those people wouldn't even be playing on console.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah, they're gonna be playing on PC.
Right.
I like Serious Sam. I think Serious Sam is fine, but also it's like the D string FPS in terms of importance too. Imagine streaming that when you have a 500 suicide bombers with no heads with bombs for hands going and the input lag and then everything artifacts and shits its pants.
Yeah.
The enemy's so good, Bungie stole them for Halo Reach.
This is nuts. It's like the next Stadia announcement is going to be that they secured the console exclusivity for a whole year for Haze 2.
You know, the funny thing is that
They're gonna get Brink.
even Tim Sweeney like figured out that people would stop shitting down his throat every time he opened his mouth if Epic just funded stuff that wouldn't otherwise exist instead of fucking trying to pull shit that does exist and everybody knew about already.
Right. Kickstarters. Like, no, don't do that.
But now Google is taking up that slot so everybody can fucking hate them.
Yeah.
Does that mean Stadia will eventually have things like GTA 5 for free?
No, maybe.
No,
because Rockstar won't port it to Stadia.
Yeah, I know. I was literally setting you up to just go, no, you idiot.
Google won't do anything for free. They won't even let you play games you own at a decent quality for free.
Yeah, God, there's nothing. That's crazy.
So Grounded, the environmental storytelling Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game made by Obsidian Entertainment, who normally make RPGs, good job Microsoft, is getting a demo on June 9th. You can play it if you're part of the Xbox Insider thing on console, or you can just play it on Steam.
These are both incredibly compelling choices, especially considering the earlier news segment about how it takes 3 terabytes to update Halo 2.
I'm so excited to be doing that while they're showing off new PlayStation 5 games.
It's gonna be the same week.
Next news.
Anthem. We're doing Anthem.
It's back.
BioWare put out a thing. Anthem developers have begun trying to figure out what went wrong a year and 2 months after launch.
They're begin trying.
Okay. One, you're just being inefficient about this. You need to reverse that search. Search for the only things you did right. It will take far less time.
Dan, the statement they made might be the most shut the fuck up. What are you saying? Oh my fucking god.
Pull it up, please.
I pulled it up. This is their statement on what players will see as they are updated on the status of Anthem. The reality is you will see things that look awesome but end up on the cutting room floor, or things that you might think suck that you feel we are spending way too much time on. But in the spirit of experimentation, this is all okay. We really want to provide you all with the transparency we can because of your passion and interest in Anthem. But with that comes seeing how the sausage is made, which is not always pretty. They just said they don't know how to develop a game.
They're like, we're going to have arguments with you on whether or not we should be doing a thing. We need you to have faith in us because we're going to let you know right now, you don't know shit.
Well, this is what they're doing. They're like, this is bad, but if we're hyper
transparent
when other developers are transparent about things, they're heroes. So clearly we'll be put up in the street with confetti and fireworks.
Yeah.
Instead they're just shitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Why are both examples they gave of them fucking up?
Both examples is we cut a good thing and included a bad thing.
It really feels like just that the only people left at BioWare are like people who never shipped something, and they're literally having to relearn how to make a game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else causes this. We're just gonna fuck around and hope we come up with something. Like, that's insane. Nobody has ever said anything like that before.
Seeing BioWare clinging onto Anthem as a thing they're going to rectify and make great is the most depressing shit ever. They made one of the most respected and critically well-received games of the entire seventh generation of consoles, and this is what they're doing now. We promise we'll make it better. We're so sorry. Not moving on and making something truly great for the first time in something like, I don't know, 10 or 11 years. No.
What game are you calling their big one? I'll be able to tell you the date.
I mean, honestly, I think Mass Effect 2 is pretty clearly the peak for them.
Yeah, I think that was 2009?
Yeah.
No, 2010. So it has been slightly more than a decade.
2010 was 10 years ago.
Anthem will be back and better than ever. Dragon Age 4 is going to get a 95 on Metacritic.
I'm sure that Anthem won't finish being rehabilitated by the time
clip this and use it against me later.
That entire genre of game is just over.
I don't know why they're doing this. Like,
because EA wants a Destiny and they're not allowed to give up.
It's crazy. Like, you'd think that if they are, like, they can't. People aren't going to just go buy this old game that did miserably. They just aren't.
Well, Bob, they've already said that this is going to be an entirely new game that Anthem owners might get a discount on.
This whole thing's insane.
That really does make them feel good, right?
Oh, yeah. We made things better. Buy this now.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah, Phil, I know I forgot to pay you from the Patreon last month, but I'm going to need you to let me not pay you next month. I'm going to make it better.
Sure, Dan.
I'm glad you paid me on time.
Sure, Dan. Phil, why does it sound like you're driving through Florida? No reason. Sound of a gun cocking.
Yeah, I heard a fast food establishment get your order wrong from here.
I was going to say, it just sounds like the crazy people in Borderlands 2 who scream before they run at you. That's how you know someone's in Florida.
Now, Bob, I'm going to present you a hypothetical, and you're going to tell me what you think of this hypothetical. Let's say there's a company, and this company is known for being scumbags. And they say, we're not scumbags. If anybody can catch us being scumbags, we'll give you, a shitload of money. Somebody says, I think I can catch you being scumbags. And they say, okay, you have to let us do the investigation into whether or not we're scumbags, because none of these independent investigators are good enough. And then you still say, okay. And then the internal investigators still say the company is scumbags and they have to pay out. Does that make the sleazy company good?
No.
Well, I'm sorry, G2A. I guess you're not good after all, despite the press release you released saying you were.
G2A is the most iconic cartoon villains in terms of like video game vendors, where they just grab stolen video game like PC keys and screw over indie devs. I remember one time they said something that felt like to the effect of, if you made a good game, you would have made more money on it.
Yes, but they challenged anybody. They said, if come and challenge us. If it's confirmed we sold stolen keys, we'll pay you 10 times the amount of any stolen keys that this investigation finds we sold. Indie dev comes up and says, I'm pretty sure you fucking suck. And they go, okay, we can't do any of those independent guys. We have to do our internal team. And then their internal team still found them guilty. And then they said, this proves we're virtuous. We're changing nothing. Bye.
That's
I
nuts.
wouldn't have it any other way with G2A. They are complete fucking scum.
I'm trying to remember the deal they had with Gearbox. There was something between those two, right?
Yeah, like Gearbox, I think it might have been with Bulletstorm.
Yeah, I think they had like bullet casings or something they sold.
Yeah, they did something, and then a bunch of people said, why are you partnering with G2A out of all people?
But now we need to talk about Microsoft, specifically their sales for Capcom games, which will then lead into something I have. But Dan has this.
Fuck. Man, this shit's so fucking dire. We are pretty straightforward about how bad we think the Microsoft Xbox One has done this generation.
Yeah.
And even still, compared to the shit we've said, the sales figures that came out of Capcom recently look fucking starkly worse. We got sales figures for, let's see, when is this covering? Yeah, it's just covering last fiscal year. The PlayStation 4,
yeah,
it would be from March to March.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 4 sold 11 times as many copies of Capcom games as Xbox One. The Switch sold nearly 4 times as many games as the Xbox One, which is to say, when you break it down, the PS4 is 66% of their games that they sold. The Switch is 23%, and the Xbox One is 6%. That's fucking insane.
This is even more insane because most of their major titles were not on Switch.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Bob. I'm like, Monster Hunter World isn't on the Switch.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 3 isn't. Resident Evil 2 wasn't. Devil May Cry 5 wasn't.
Mega Man 11 is the
Iceborne
only one I
wasn't.
can think of. Mega Man 11 is the only thing I can think of.
This was the fiscal year in which Xbox did a heavy push for DMC5, where they got marketing on it. They got an exclusive demo.
They did put it on Game Pass eventually, so that killed those sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They even put out some ridiculous commercials with it.
Most of their titles were on Game Pass. Game Pass is just completely cannibalizing anybody's sales on that platform.
I haven't seen how Game Pass, how many Capcom games are on Game Pass, but Devil May Cry
DMC
5 did come out in March 8th. So it probably isn't included in this year's sales.
Okay.
Because it would be
Monster Hunter World is.
Hmm.
Monster Hunter World is, and a couple other things. But also, I assume it does count any sales made that fiscal year.
It includes all of the residual sales past that point of games that have already launched. I'm just trying to say this doesn't include the launch sales of Devil May Cry 5. So we don't know how the launch splits because these sales start in April and go till March.
My brain was trying to process Game Pass a little bit, and it went, all right, developers and companies want to play nice with Microsoft and stuff. And I went, are certain devs just using Game Pass as a dumping ground because they know they're not going to make any money sales-wise anyway on Xbox?
Yeah,
they're
I assume it's one of those things where it's been out for a few months, it hasn't sold at all, so sure, put it on Game Pass.
I mean,
give it some money.
because
they made that announcement where it's the Kingdom Hearts collections are going on Game Pass, and all the Final Fantasy games are going on Game Pass, and all the Yakuza games are going on Game Pass.
Yeah, Microsoft must just pay a flat fee plus so much. I think they pay a flat fee plus so much for certain metrics, like playtime and downloads.
Mm-hmm. It just sounds like that's what's happening, where companies accept that they're not going to sell enough units on their Xbox SKU, so they don't have as much of a problem having it on Game Pass.
Those downloads, if you download something on Game Pass or for PS Plus, that counts as a sale, and publishers really like using that to inflate the sales numbers of bad games. See, DMC Devil May Cry, which sold less than 1 million, but on Capcom's site sits at 1.8 because they made it a PS Plus game.
I think another thing that noted in this sales figure is it's only physical units. It's not
it's
digital at all.
It's not digital ones. So maybe we're completely wrong, and everybody who owns an Xbox has embraced the digital future.
A
lot of them are that, but still.
Square stuff did so bad on Xbox. That Final Fantasy Type 0 HD did so bad on the Xbox that they did not release any Japanese Square Enix game on Xbox aside from Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3, which were they already signed up in advance for, until like recently when they're like, okay, we're putting everything on everything now. Like World of Final Fantasy skipped it. All these other like smaller titles skipped Xbox. So I had already had that impression years ago. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Type 0 like set the stage, and it's like that was packed in with a Final Fantasy 15 demo, and it did not move at all on Xbox.
I see people bending over backwards to justify the 6% number. They go, that 6% figure for Xbox is only physical sales. Downloads are separate. It also doesn't take into consideration the pre-owned market. No, really, the sales from a company announced by them don't take into account the pre-owned market? Are you stupid? Of course it doesn't. Like,
Right.
fucking none of these numbers account for that, because that's not money for Capcom.
Yeah, what in the world?
There's no fucking conspiracy theory you can concoct that squares this circle.
Yeah.
The only thing you have is everyone on Xbox has gone all digital,
I mean,
which is crazy.
I think that's incredibly unlikely. I assume they have the same trend that everyone else has had towards that. You know, it's happening,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be like way more than the other platforms. This would include Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
It wouldn't include 2 because that came out in February, but fucking dude, come on.
They put out that Monster Hunter expansion,
Yeah.
which means they did a reissue of the full game plus it as well.
Man, this is fucking dire. I didn't realize that the sales were this different, because once again, if you look at the sales of the hardware itself, what you see is like 40 to 50 million Xbox Ones and 110-ish million PS4s. You know, that's nowhere near the disparity we're seeing here in Capcom sales, and I think Capcom's been turning out some of the best games at the end of this generation. So to see this huge divide is fucking crazy. You can't convince me that many copies of Street Fighter V sold in the last year to make up that difference.
That might account for 10.
But leading off from that, Cliffy B said Lawbreakers should have been an Xbox exclusive instead of a PS4 one. It would have done better, he thinks.
Oh,
Wait, it was on PS4? It was only PC.
no, it's on
Nope.
PS4.
What? What?
So wait. He said it should have been on Xbox instead of PS4, and that would have saved it.
Yep.
He's saying, you know, for anyone who's paying attention, that if his game was on the system with fewer owners, that it would have done better. Even though, question mark?
I'm assuming he means like exclusive, and then it would get the marketing of an exclusive.
That's not what he sounded like.
Well, he's also an idiot. I'm trying to help him.
There's no helping him.
Okay.
Yeah, this is crazy. I can't believe I completely forgot about this hitting PS4. The site on one part of PlayStation's website still works. If you try and go to the store, it's just a broken page. Because of course.
So Cliffy B says, when people follow your career from a beloved series such as Gears on Xbox, might have made sense to put the new game on said console.
I mean, he's not wrong there.
He's not wrong there if those people had stayed on that console. There were a lot of people who jumped over to PS4. That's how the PS4 has 110 million sales.
I know. But I think that he wants those hardcore Microsoft fans, but I don't think...
They have nothing else to play. What else are they going to play?
That's fucking
What else are they going to play?
Forza and Killer Instinct.
I mean, I get what he's saying, but
4K tube.
No, that's
Like that
that's
game.
stupid and desperate.
yeah, no.
Like most things from Cliffy B, such as, why did you unfollow me, Jeff? It's stupid and desperate.
God.
Theo enjoyed that a bit
Yo-
too much.
You okay over there?
Yes.
He's like, it's fine, just dealing with my forked tongue.
Give me your skin.
Jeff Keighley confirmed Gamescom's opening night live will be a 3-day thing.
Oh.
Starting on August 27th. It will be the last thing for Summer Games Fest.
Well,
Gonna
it's
be hype.
literally at the end of summer.
Yeah. Super Smash Bros. For 3DS came out in October. Summer. Thank you, Sakurai.
Sure. Well, that's it for news. Apparently, because a boatload of money appeared and beat me to death, next month is Donkey Kong month? I don't even know how that shit just happened.
I'm so excited for Junkie Kong.
I made several contingencies plans that were the main plan, and none of them involved this. So this is a bit of a shock. We're still trying to figure out the scale of Donkey Kong month. We know at bare minimum we are playing Donkey Kong Country 1 through 3 on streams, and the main event, Donkey Kong 64, will also be streamed. We're also going to play some other Donkey Kong games. That way we can pretend this month is not just streaming Donkey Kong 64.
Which it blatantly is.
We'll also be having some incredible podcasts, a couple that make sense, and some that defy explanation.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
This isn't Donkey Kong 64, Bob. You know how I know? We're streaming it.
That damn video games. He's such a sellout.
You can't spell Lanky Kong without an L.
I know. Believe me, I know. For the next week though, we're gonna be wrapping up Halo month, maybe with some Destiny streams.
Oh yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah. We're also going to be playing a little bit of Spartan Assault and other things, but just small little streams here and there to finish up this month, which I'm glad we didn't finish on a 343 game.
Right. Ugh.
Aside from that, Gamer Premonitions last week, which you should go watch if you haven't.
Unless you stream Halo Wars 2, which is technically a 343 game.
Oh, I get it. Oh, man.
Look, we won't do that on the last day. If we get to that point, we just won't do it.
Fair. Hey, KZ, what do you have coming up in the next week?
Well, I'm slowly finishing off some LPs that are coming out over time. But next week, I'm mainly going to be working on Sakura Wars stuff because I started playing that a little bit, but not enough to say a single thing about it. So I'll be doing that. PSO2 will finally be out like a week from now, so I'll probably play a little bit of that. And I will accept that it's bad if it takes me more than 10 minutes to figure out how to play it. But until then, I will stay optimistic on that store. And yeah, I think that's it. Maybe Humble will give me the thing I bought. I would love.
Nope.
Yeah, that is incredibly doubtful. Very, very strange. Typically, if they run out of keys on something, you would stop selling it.
Normally, that's what you would do. But what if you were selling nothing and taking money?
Genius.
And I looked at the page afterward, and they're like, "We have run out of keys for this, but don't worry, you can still buy this, and we'll email you once we have more keys."
I mean, I guess at least they're being transparent on that side to some extent. As long as they actually get more keys.
It was a good bargain.
Yeah, what a deal.
Good value.
Field, do you got anything going on in the next week?
I'm going to continue streaming Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. I will hopefully be done with that at some point within the next couple weeks. And then I can give people the opportunity to shoot me in the head with the last game in that series I am not playing unless people pay me money.
Which one's the last game in that series?
Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls. It is a spin-off shooter that takes place between 1 and 2.
I did not. Okay, by the last game in that series, you mean the last game remaining that you haven't played?
That I have not played.
Okay, I was having a seizure there because I'm like, no, Despair Girls came out first. What the fuck?
Yeah, he just skipped over it at the time. Again, it's a Vita third-person shooter. I just talk about how the gameplay is bad. I don't even approach the fact that it is the most embarrassing story I played in recent.
Oh, I'm excited. It has one of the main characters is my favorite character from the first game. I am super excited for that horrible story. If people pay me money, because it's like 25 hours long and horrible.
Wow.
In terms of subject matter, Dan, vile.
What? 1 second. Didn't you just say it was a Vita shooter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there even an emulator for the Vita? How are you playing
They
this?
they ported it later.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't know they ported it.
Yeah, they're like, we want money, so they ported it to like PS4.
They're like, hey, PS4 owners, you eat garbage?
Yes. Do you see how much Neptunia sells?
Okay, then.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy VVV Tunia, the new game about Neptunia idols that has actual virtual YouTubers in it.
Okay, that's funny as hell.
I hate that it wasn't this last Christmas, it was the one before it in which Phil gave me a Neptunia game. Ridiculous.
What a villain.
Yeah. You gave me like Ultra Neptunia. You gave me Mega Dimension Neptunia 7.
I think that was the same Christmas he gave Bob Necopara.
No, KZ, it's not 7, it's V2, because it's a sequel to V Victory.
I fucking hate you.
This is the worst. This is the worst.
This is worse than Garfield Kart.
But it's not as bad as the Garficcino.
Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the Garficcino.
What's my name? Garficcino!
What's my name? Garficcino.
If you want cheesy goodness, I'm your friend. Say hello to my pasta blend.
What the fuck is going on?
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support the GP Podcast Network, head on over to patreon.com/GP Podcast so that way you can get exclusive behind the scenes on stuff, other content. There's a lot of content. It's basically non-ending avalanche of content. So head on over there, become a $5 backer or a Podlord today. This Gigaboots video was brought to you by the arcane powers of our executive producers, Esme, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Starfalcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, and 32X Wen. Thank you very much to our powerful executive producers. And also these guys. If you like this video and want to lend us your power, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.